Yeah, it's
$5.
5,000 points for one $5 gift card.
Get out of here. Mad dog.
You poor bastards.
Come on, guys. What you doing, wide load?
So did you like all the music?
There wasn't that many on there.
Yeah, there was like 2 videos.
There was like 4, dude.
like
I was paying more attention.
There was
than
like
you
2.
were.
I saw Shakira for a second. Yeah, this guy.
He was first.
Yeah, that's Shakira. Oh yeah, Big Smo was on too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember
this dude,
this
and
little
then
black
kicking
kid.
up mud.
I remember this little black kid. Yeah, yeah.
I was wondering where the kicking up mud was coming from. Or did you throw that one on for me again?
That was for me.
I got NPC.
No, you don't.
The Bob over here needs to stop being terrified of talking to NPCs.
I'm not. What are you
He's
talking
terrified
about?
talking to you.
I've been. Yeah, it's more you than anything else, but I mean.
This guy's trying to build a superhero team and can't talk to the other parts of the
I ain't
team.
trying
The
to
only
do that.
motherfucker you seem to want to talk to is that guy, and I want you two to figure out who's actually in charge, because you need to stop looking at Jake for every fucking decision in the goddamn game. Otherwise, I'm putting that guy in charge.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, that wouldn't be a good thing.
And then, the two of you need to decide what fucking kind of superheroes you're gonna be, because this guy wants to murder every fucking thing out there, and you want to be Captain fucking America. So Captain fucking America can't hang out with, I'm gonna butcher everybody.
That's not true. Captain America hangs out with I'm gonna butcher everybody all the time.
No, he does not.
Yeah, he does.
He beat the shit out of the Punisher for just being the president.
So, we gotta get that out of the way. Last few games, I'm gonna give you my criticism now. Last few games, every time there's been a decision, Jake had an idea, Bob didn't, then you kick everybody over to Jake. Every NPC goes, who am I? Talk to that guy. Why? It's like, what are we doing? You gotta talk to that guy.
Yeah, that's the XO's job. Doing everything that the other guy doesn't want to do.
I got a great idea. Talk to that guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell that guy to suck a dick and have your own damn plan. There, how's that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Nope.
That's my criticism. My hands are full, Crystal.
I didn't see it, so don't snap at me.
You watched me pick it up.
Actually, I wasn't even looking at you. So
You didn't see me pick up the stuff so I could actually have room for the plate?
I did not. So kiss my
Listen to that.
Ow.
You're going to be getting wild.
He's very aggressive.
Like that?
After you assault her with candy.
I know.
That's what you get for hitting her in the head with a chocolate bar or whatever.
Jake's gonna be old, so he can be in charge. I don't care.
Jake's gonna be old?
Yeah. Jake's advancing his age up to the Matt standard over there.
I never said that.
See who's putting words in whose mouth now? Oh,
That would be you.
you were doing it earlier. You even said you were doing it.
I know.
You don't remember that.
Yeah, dude.
No, you don't.
It was like a day and a half ago, dude. I know that.
10 minutes ago.
The conversation went, I told Jar that I'm having trouble trying to figure out shit a high school kid is going to be. And then you took that as, oh, you're going to fucking make your age as, you know, as high as Matt. I don't know where you got that from that.
I don't know that. I don't remember nothing.
We can get all that stuff stamped the fuck out.
Maybe you ought to start remembering, and so you can stand up for yourself. No, it's not.
That's good.
No, it's not.
Because at some point I need you to actually interact with the NPCs. Instead of every time having a confrontation with them.
That's all you know how to do, though.
No, it is not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not. The confrontation.
You know, I don't know why that's turned into let's hate on Bob Day.
Let's not hate on Bob Day. I was hating on Jake too today.
This is, Bob, you're having problems. We need to figure out how to not have you have problems.
Funny, I didn't think I was having any problems.
You're having massive problems.
News to me. I thought things were going good.
Well, they are if you want Jake to be in charge.
That's fine. Cool with that.
I didn't make the character to be in charge.
I don't care. You obviously have put yourself in a place of importance.
It's not that Jake is in a place of importance. It's that you defer to Jake.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool with that. Jake can be in charge.
The captain can't defer to the XO.
And
Maybe I'm not Captain Material.
you want to be though.
No, not really. Not anymore.
Every time you want to be.
Stop getting defensive, Bob.
I'm being defensive. I'm trying to give you the constructive criticism, not you're doing a shitty job.
I already know I'm doing a shitty job. So why?
But you're not.
Why are we
You're not
having
doing
this
a shitty job.
conversation?
You only changed your play style once Jake started playing. Then you changed your play style, and then you kept deferring to Jake. And I'm like, I can't be the only
Jake
one.
has good ideas. So he should be in charge. Jake's ideas are better than my ideas. He should be in charge. It's pretty simple.
I don't want to be in charge.
Good job, Jake.
Well,
You
it's
just
okay
didn't-
that he has better ideas. It's just you got to explain the idea.
How am I supposed to explain someone else's idea when I don't know the whole idea?
Get the idea before you get here, so that you can actually explain it.
And every time I try to explain it, you run roughshod over me.
Because your idea is
you know how to push my buttons.
the idea
So
is
what's even the point?
that's because you don't actually give the idea. You usually go, he knows what the idea is. We need to go over and talk to Kevin. Why are they? We need to go talk to that guy so he can explain to you the idea.
Okay.
If Bob knew the idea, even if you did a terrible job explaining it,
Which is what happens because you run roughshod over me every single time.
because I try to engage you
And
with the idea.
You try to get me to the point where I don't want to talk about stuff because you know how to do that.
But I don't do that. I haven't done.
Really?
I haven't tried to do that at all.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't tried.
That whole conversation that we had when Jake had the idea and I'm trying to explain to
You
Emily
literally had no explanation. You just said, we just do need to go talk to Kevin. That was your explanation.
because it wasn't my idea.
But you're the leader.
Not anymore. I quit.
But what I was getting at is, in the role play, the only comeback I had was, we need to go talk to that guy for the idea.
That's cool. I get it. I understand. I understand what I'm doing wrong.
The idea would be, on the ride up here, to ask him what the idea was, so you would have the idea to
we do
explain
talk
it.
about stuff.
Well, that was the only time that we've had an issue. I didn't think we've had an issue the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I thought we solved that issue with that whole thing. That was because I had it wrong on how things were worked out.
Yeah, that's kind of the big one in the issue. But when you guys are role playing, from sitting over here watching what's going on, when Bob's role playing, like trying to get something across, he defers to your decisions regularly. If you're upset with Bob's decision, Bob will waffle in making that choice. Whereas I'm like, Bob just needs to not care what your choice is and do it. But I can see him waffle with his decision making whenever you're not happy with the decision he's about to make. Then he changes his decision. And I'm like, why is Bob changing his decisions based on whether or not Jake is happy with what's going on?
Well, is this coming at us because of what we decided not to do or do? Because
This is one of those observation things that I've been noticing that's been going. So it's one of those as we were getting into possibly you aging up a little bit and figuring out what Bob wants to and it goes back to questioning for me is, does Bob want to be in charge? If so, then I want to make sure that I'm pointing out that he's deferring a lot. And it's not a diss at Bob. It's not the point of what I'm trying to make. It's that I've noticed that you defer a lot to what's going on with Jake, instead of doing Bob stuff. Like, I don't know why you guys, like, you went from, like, we got to figure out what's going on, detective, to I'm going to murder all these fucking dudes last week.
I didn't want to murder anybody. I wanted to go kick their ass. There was no murder involved.
There's a little bit of murder.
Okay, there might have been a little bit of murder, but it was,
You went
ass
from,
kicking.
you went from I'm investigating to I'm going to murder like these fools.
No murder.
All right, I want to go severely hurt them.
Okay, what's wrong with that? Payback. You shoot at us? Sure, would have escalated to murder probably eventually.
Like in the first 3 seconds.
No, like second encounter.
And I'm like, where did that come from?
I was pissed that they shot at our kids. Why can't I be mad about that?
You can perfectly be mad at it. You just need to actually express that when questioned.
I did. Couple times.
That's not the way it came off sounding.
Okay, well, whatever.
I mean, Jake, what did it sound to you? I
I
got
don't know.
murder. I got murder. I want to go up there and punish them for what they did.
I didn't get that at all. Because he specified that's not what he meant.
And what was the plan?
Go kick some ass. Punch some people. Payback. Which is what I said. It's fine. You don't have to worry about me anymore. I'll just defer to. I'm just gonna retire. Go be a high school kid. Have Mr. Wright turn off all my powers. I don't have to worry about it anymore. That sounds like a good plan.
Pretty sure Drew didn't come up with that plan.
Maybe.
Because that sounds like a Drew plan.
Probably.
Should probably not listen to him.
Probably.
And which hero are the two of you? Like, I have no idea where you're at and where he's at. Every time I listen to Jake, it's murder every four.
Apparently I don't either.
Anti-hero. Total goal for his character. Hero.
Not anymore. Mind my own business. Move out of the house. Go live under a bridge somewhere.
I'm just saying. You see why I'm...
No. I don't.
Who's your best friend?
I don't know. That guy? 'Cause he's
Why?
PC?
Because you got PC glow?
Yeah. It's definitely not that guy. All he
We
does,
don't know
all he
each
does
other.
is yell at us. Because we're dumb.
You've done some dumb things, yes. We've known each other for like 20 minutes.
I haven't done anything dumb.
Come on.
I haven't built Ultron yet. That was pretty dumb.
Okay,
What you done
you
is
have
fine.
you've made a half step up.
See?
I'll give you that.
See?
And we just need to get you the rest of the way up to that first step.
No, I don't need to be Ultron building.
No, we
no.
need you to be as more bold.
Yeah. You got to join
You're,
Great Force.
all right. You guys, here we go. What's happening when you guys get presented with something, you don't engage.
What are you talking about? I engaged that whole freaking thing 2 weeks ago, and I got criticized for doing that.
Not for me.
Really? You're like, why are you doing this? Why are you going after this?
No, I'm asking you, why are you not going to taking it to the end?
I didn't have to take it to the end. You know, any way that story went, you would have spun it so it benefited the story, whether it was good or bad.
I haven't spun any of that. You're making assumptions which aren't even fucking true in the way I've been running this game. I don't have a spin. I haven't ran anything at you guys that isn't just kind of sitting there to figure out how you want to do it. All I'm doing is giving you an opportunity to flush out what you're doing with the character you're playing. I'm trying to give Jake an opportunity to become a vigilante. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to become a superhero. And then what kind of superhero do you want to play? Do you want to play a guy that, are you a, like gumshoe investigative superhero? Are you the kind of, are you a Batman style? Where are you in there? What kind of hero are you?
Maybe I don't even know that yet.
That's what I'm asking.
Because we've been playing for like 4 weeks, so
But that's why I'm asking it 4 weeks in.
we're like 3 weeks into the game, and you're like, hey, what are you? I don't know, some dumb kid with some powers.
I'm asking because you've been playing Ace Hood for more than 10 years.
No, I haven't.
So I'm like, which character are you playing?
No. Oh well, I'm not very good at it. So.
So I'm like,
Hi, Dada.
so yeah, I'm asking because I don't know where you're going. I'm asking Bob. Jake, I kind of got because I've got me and Jake in that quick. I talked to Jake on Facebook, and in the last few games, Jake made made it very clear that he's an anti-hero. That's where he plans to go. And you were talking about becoming a member of the right teams, but not becoming a marshal, which is closer to where Jake was looking. So I gave you Gumshoe, and then you were like investigating, but you didn't want to punish the girl, you didn't want to punish the guy, and you didn't want to break the law in any fashion to get to the answer. I was like, what the hell is going on? What character and where is Bob looking at going? And then
High school kid.
when you look at when you get into adding Jake into the mix, is your character really aware that he's the anti-hero?
No.
Because you know
We really haven't had a chance for me to really get into any of that kind of stuff. Truthfully. I mean, I've said a couple of things, but
well, you guys spend all day together. There should be enough not role-played shit for some of this to have just been figured out.
Maybe I just have such a profound respect for him that I overlook the bad guy part of him.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that.
That was really gay.
That was really good, though, huh?
No,
But,
that was.
I mean, I'm not trying to diss Bob. I'm just trying to say that
disgusting.
some of this stuff is like, I don't know where your relationships are going because I can't present you with NPCs to support your, like Jacob said, I need to be surrounded by people who agree with me. Well, which people am I surrounding you by when I don't know where you're at in the spectrum of hero?
I've never said that, so.
But you got to get people that agree with you.
Here's the problem: is if you don't agree with him, then you're only surrounded by the people that he's surrounded by because he's already selected a group.
Okay.
So I got my
This just sounds to me like Jake should be in charge then.
it doesn't sound like Jake needs to be in charge. What I'm pointing out is this guy is the anti-hero who in the game is your character's best friend who you spend almost all your time with, but there never is any roleplay conflict between the two of you over anti-hero, hero. So that leaves me to question, how heroic are you?
So obviously,
Really?
obviously, I just haven't been realizing in the game,
Yeah, that's why I'm pointing it out. That's why I'm bringing it to the forefront for Bob, which is these are things I'm noticing that have been going on that I don't think Bob is getting, and I see that you're like, I'm on this, and Jake's information is anti-hero, almost always the anti-hero opinion. I ain't saying Matt's over here is the
That's what I'm
heroic guy
trying.
Oh
either.
fuck no, I'm not.
So I'm like,
But my entire design and philosophy is I will lay down my life to protect others. That's what I do.
and so
I'm just not a hero.
when looking at what you're doing with your character, there are flashes of all these things. I go, Bob's got Captain America. He's gonna fucking be a superhero. And then once in a while, I'm like,
Where'd that come from?
where the fuck did that come from? And you're like, all the NPCs are running contrary to you. They are, because I have no idea where your character's going. And I don't try to get you to do so. I want you to have your character explain to them the concepts of what he's doing. Like, you got Pandora last week. Pandora wasn't challenging your idea about doing it. She was challenging your reasoning for doing it. So it wasn't contrary, that it wasn't her, because ultimately I was hoping that you would have gotten by now that she's a good person at heart. So you wanting just to go punch up some people because they shot at a bus that did nothing to anyone was nothing she was going to support.
Okay, maybe I overreacted.
And that's perfectly fine. And that's just where we need to.
It's not like I know a time traveler that can go back and change things, okay? Because I
no,
don't.
Which no one has done since Chris cheated.
But what I'm getting at is going from the character who, the week before was not going to break the law to break into the building, steal all that shit, and then go beat him up and kidnap him, to some people shoot the side of a bus where nobody got hurt, and this guy wants to murder like the whole fucking lot of them.
I didn't say murder.
Okay,
I said fight them.
You want to go over and beat them all up.
Yeah.
But the other one, a week ago, someone got murdered, and he couldn't even beat that guy up.
Because she wasn't connected to us.
Yeah, not us.
But you see why where I'm like, okay, now we're here. Where the fuck is Bob at? What the hell is the actual morals of this character? How do I run a story in a superhero game that's all about morals at your character when I can't figure out what your morals are?
That's my plan. Just keep you confused.
I mean,
That is a tremendously bad idea for any semblance of fun.
and to answer Jake's
I'm
question,
having fun.
No, you're not.
it doesn't matter
Not now.
whether you guys are 10 years old or 20 years old, you can still run the same stories.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing about your age is holding you back from doing anything right now. You've got fake fucking IDs all day long. Walk into a liquor store, buy booze. No one cares.
So we do it in game and then we get in trouble.
Of course, there are consequences.
Exactly.
That's
You know what
the
superhero
whole
games
point
are
of
about,
a
right?
game.
Hey, you know what superhero games are about? Personal responsibility.
Nobody wants that. I have enough personal responsibility in my own real life that's why I play this stuff, to get away from that. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except this is a genre where you can actually solve your problems.
Or get yelled at a lot.
You can get yelled at a lot and solve your problem.
Case, thrown in jail,
Is that happening to you,
kinda.
or is it happening to a construct?
I have trouble differentiating between me and Ace Head sometimes.
No, that's because you shouldn't have LARPed as him to get pussy for so many years.
I know.
But
Okay,
no.
okay, Bass.
Yeah.
I've never used Bass to try and hook up with a chick.
But I'm not trying to tear Bob down. I'm just trying to let you know
You're
that
doing a really good job.
I'm
of
just
not
telling you,
trying,
I'm
okay?
voicing the
But
fact
now I don't
that
even want to play anymore.
I'm voicing the fact that I'm having problems doing stuff for you because I have no idea where you're at because you're all over the damn place.
That's cool.
I need you to settle into something so that I can figure out what you're doing. I liked him when you were going to the superhero route, which was not what Jake was doing and was not what Matt was doing. Actually being a superhero. I was like, wow, Bob, and here's the thing. Wow, Bob's doing a great job. Jake shows up, starts gaming on the regular. And then I'm like, why is Bob deviating off of being a superhero?
I'm just gonna have to stop gaming. I seem to be everybody's kryptonite.
No,
You're Bob's kryptonite for sure.
Jake, I'm going to give you the one criticism that I have of you is you like to pick apart other people's ideas in kind of a non-constructive manner in the middle of the game.
Okay.
And that is, I know that everybody does it. Everyone's contrarian at some point. It's just for Bob, me. whatever. You pick apart my idea, big deal. It stops Bob. He can't
I
deal
wasn't
with it.
realizing I was doing that.
It's the same thing, like, I didn't realize, it's the same thing where me and you were eventually, like, every time I go, explain yourself to me, and Jake goes, you just tore my idea all to shit. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Same kind of thing. I didn't realize that was your, I was shutting you down when I said that. I didn't know. And then when we finally got to talk about it, and I realized that when I say that to you, I shut you down. I don't do that anymore.
We need to all go outside and stand around the trees and ask them to forgive us for our lack of communication skills and tell them that we're going to try and be better in the future and we love them and we care about them and we want them to live.
But I made a point out of, like, not doing that anymore. That's why I'm trying not to do the same thing to Bob. It's like, Jake has ideas, Jake knows what he wants to do, and I got Jake's playing style down a little bit better
So we
these days.
just put Jake in charge. He has better ideas than me.
He doesn't have better ideas than you.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
This entire game since we've restarted, every good idea has been Jake's. And I've tried to relay stuff, and all it's done is
Because the game is that you're the guy in charge. You can't relay someone else's ideas.
exactly. So just put Jake in charge. It's not that hard.
He doesn't have a character to be in charge.
Yeah, he does.
You can't have the villain be in charge.
Oh yes, you can. You ever seen Spider-Man?
Not in this group. Not in this
Are
group.
you-
Not
are
where
you-
we're at.
Are you fucking talking about when Doc Ock was in Spider-Man's body? Superior Spider-Man?
But I'm just saying, if you're gonna want to give Jake's idea and present Jake's idea, make sure that Bob understands what Jake's idea is, so that Ace can then explain it to the NPC.
But when I'm trying to say, hey, he's got an idea, let's go talk to him, let's go listen to it. I don't want to steal his thunder about the idea. I'm trying to give him an avenue to present the idea, and I should just have to say, hey,
Then that's a role play between the two of you.
that's a role
But
play
last
between.
time we tried that, you had Emily jump down
Yeah.
his throat.
No. That was not a role play between the two of you. That was a role play about him trying to get the NPCs to go to you.
Yeah,
Which
That's
they
what I just said.
They don't need to go to that guy for their instructions from their boss.
okay.
That's weird.
That was me saying we're going over there to listen to what he's got to say.
But it was the way you presented it. You're in the middle of trying to take charge, trying to present yourself as the leader, and you're like, I can't tell you what we're going over there for. This guy's got this thing that he wants to tell us about, so we're all gonna go over there and have him do it.
I didn't want to tell him the idea and then have go over there and be like, hey, this is his idea, but
It's easier to say, so and so's got this idea. Here it is. But he's got more details than me, because after all, it's his idea.
Here's the basics of the idea.
I mean,
Let's go
that's
talk
kind
to
of-
him and
That's
work
kind of
this
what
out.
I did.
No, you just kept saying we're gonna go talk to him. He knows what we're doing. Without any explanation for what you were going over there to talk. Well, we got this thing where like everyone doesn't communicate, and then that's where we got off the rails right there. But the part that I was trying to argue with you about in
We're off the
role play-
rails pretty good right now.
No, we're on track. Is the concept that I was trying to present was if you want to be the guy in charge, your team wants to follow you. So you need to generally have an idea what you want to do. Even if you just briefly explain it and then can be like, well, so-and-so's got better details. Because I have to interpret what you're saying. In the personalities of other people.
It's a lot of fucking work. That's why you only run one NPC, Lord Hot Dog.
Best NPC ever.
So for Jake, I kind of know where Jake's evil bastard. Jake wants to unleash the beast that's within.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So
He wants to take his symbiote, unleash it, and just watch and see how broken he actually is. That's Jake's goal. He needs
Why are you putting words in Jake's mouth?
cannon fodder of weak ass NPCs.
Jake
just
doesn't
to
like it when you
butcher.
put words in his mouth. Okay.
That's
not
what
what
he's
he
been
wants.
presented.
He is a kind-hearted, gentle soul
Jake is.
that just wants to be
Kevin
loved.
wants to butcher hundreds of people.
Have we been playing the same game?
Yeah,
Because that's not anything like what Kevin has been.
Kevin's got a few things on his mind.
Kevin's really nice. Okay.
No, Kevin's a dick.
Kevin
Wants to
two
just
things.
drink beer,
He wants to
not
drink
hang
beer
out
and
with all
kill
you
things.
little fucking kids. He wants to sit. He wants to sit over there, drink some beer, sit outside at the barbecue, do some fishing, not talk to any of you little kids. And once in a while, when it benefits him, when you go nagging him, explaining the whole idea to the rest of the team about what's fucking gonna happen.
Damn, that was pretty accurate.
That's really what goes on.
That
That's
was fairly accurate.
Yeah, that was pretty accurate.
with your guy running around being like, I want to be a superhero. Everyone, we need to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be superheroes.
See, Pandora should be in your house.
I don't need
And I
Pandora.
should have knockout. You know?
God, that would be a fucking mess. She's way too fucking.
Which is, and Pandora is supposed to be your reason about she's a good person. If you want to be a superhero, Pandora will follow you into being a superhero and support you in doing so, and will be your conscience about when she's supposed to be the character that goes, you're flying off the handle, boss. Reel that in a bit. We're superheroes. Because you could have chosen, if you wanted to make a statement, to just show up. It's only 60 of them. Just go over there and stand in the street.
6 of you is 10 times too many.
I'm pretty confident that Ace could have took all 60 of them. I wouldn't even have made you roleplay if you'd have just said, I'll go over and trash them all. I'm like, okay. Go over and trash 60 fucking game makers. What are they going to do? Shoot you with a gun that you're immune to?
That maybe there you have a guy who's a PL6. Because he was in the army.
I was looking for the reaction from you guys. I was looking for was how do you want to react to it? And I get it. They fucking hurt your people. Even if you'd have went back and came back with we're a gigantic family, and they just fucking punched my family member in the face. Pandora would have bought that too. That you got to go over there because it's about the unity, the family, instead of I got to go over there and commit some revenge on these people. Revenge is not good
Not
for
for
superheroes.
heroes.
For this guy, if Jake would have been like, I'm gonna go and get some revenge, I wouldn't be having this conversation about I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Okay, let's write in character. Here's some people that can go over there and kick their ass with you. But when it comes out of Bob, who's like the good guy, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And you could have got the help and the support you needed from the right people. Not a bad thing, just if that's not what you're wanting to do, then if you need more ideas from NPCs to help too, I'll give you more ideas from NPCs. I just need to know what needs to happen to help Bob be better into where he's going. That's why I'm like, I don't know what line of superhero Bob's looking for. Because I don't know if I'm supposed to be putting NPCs in there to protect you from Jake's bad influences of murder-late people.
Or him protect him from my
Or-
bad influence.
Or put some...
Murder-late people.
Yeah, or which is the one I'm trying to... Which one of you I'm actually trying to run the story at? And do I need to be running 2 different stories at 2 different people?
Jake can have it.
Should I be feeding Jake the bad guy storylines to run him into Doom? Do we need to have an NPC that's actually in charge? What do we need?
Well,
I
I
don't
thought
wanna be in charge
that
anymore.
was the whole idea of Emily.
Well, when I brought her in,
Because my recollection is, you told me, you're like, I brought Emily in to help give you guys some guidance and to kind of go you in that direction. And then when I'm here, you hardly ever used her.
that's because Bob was still wanting to be the guy in charge.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of showing guidance is to actually have the NPC guide them. Dude, he is scared the shit of you.
I know he is, which is what I don't get.
It's because it's no matter what he says to you, no matter what he does, you've always had the ability to spin off and do whatever you want to him. And you have done it.
That's because he doesn't commit. He's uncommitted to a single decision. Uncommitted. Can't commit.
I know, I'm just telling you, that's
I know. And I haven't.
We had the conversation on the way home last weekend. He says, why can't I ever, Jar's like my kryptonite, dude. I just, like, I'm always on the defensive when I talk to
He
Jar.
always waffles.
He always waffles, so I never get an answer out of him. He can't commit to an idea and follow through with that idea.
You have to have an NPC next to him.
Even when
That's
I apply,
going to help him do that.
But
It's going to be more
but-
vocal than you're used to.
I can't give him an NPC to help make a decision like that. Because it's an NPC is not meant to make the decision for you, tell you what to do. They're there to
We're still
drive
talking
you
about
into
this?
making one. I mean, I don't know what I could do. I mean, what an NPC could do. I mean, make the decision.
We're still talking about this?
Yes, 'cause it's huge. You being terrified of making the decision with me is making your character a waffling bastard. I just need you to like, this is what I'm doing. I know what the issue is.
What, I'm scared of you?
Yes, you're scared to make a decision because you don't want to reap the punishment you think
Yeah,
I'm going to dish out on
exactly.
you. And I'm not punishing you. I've actually put my kid gloves on. And I'm like, come on, Bob.
Whatever.
Do what Bob wants to do. I don't care what Matt wants to do. I don't care what Jake wants to do. I want Bob to make a decision.
But there's times that you just can't help it. Because you've been doing that shit for so long.
No,
And like the D&D
since we have
games.
started this game, I have not one time came out with the intention to actually stifle someone's idea. What I need is an idea, a decision, a full-fledged, committed idea. And the ability to like explain the basics of why your decision falls along those lines. But a decision. Some kind of movement forward. If there's movement forward and something is happening, even if it's the wrong, a bad idea, something moved forward. And the NPCs then get to see and react to what you've done. When you waffle with an idea and don't actually move things forward and have these long conversations, what happens is I, as the guy that has to determine what they do, I don't have an opportunity to have them make a decision. So what Bob is getting as me punishing Bob for not making his decision is that I'm trying to get what the decision is and why. Explain why that's what your choice is, so that the rest of the story can react to that decision.
Would anyone like an Icelandic style yogurt?
Yes,
I'm strawberry, vanilla, and lime.
lime.
I just planned it. What's it?
I have no idea. I've never had it before.
Okay, I'll try it. Strawberry.
There you go.
So I think it's a perception thing of why am I asking? Because I need a decision. I need a reason for it. And if it's somebody else's, like I say, when you pass it to Jake to make the decision, then I don't get to decide what, I don't have the ability to have someone decide what you're like. I get what Jake's like. And Jake's back and forth with the most murderous SOB. I mean, he goes from a good guy to a bad guy, depending on who's, what day of the week it is. But for you,
Thank you.
I need, this is what we're doing. This is why. And then cut and get rid of any NPC that doesn't fit into your bracket of what you're doing. Because I'm not playing anything but the NPCs and their personalities. You have an alpha leader in Emily, who thinks that the leader's in charge and everyone else just needs to do what they're told. Hence why she wants you to explain every action of why you're making those choices. Pandora's going to question any action that you do that doesn't seem to be immediately perfectly heroic. You want her to go across the street and punch a gangbanger in the face because he's got some crack in his hand? probably not the right person to pick. You want her to help an old lady across the street like a Boy Scout? Pandora's probably your choice. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Different. Texture's a little different. It's almost like ricotta cheese.
Yeah, you say I'm not sure if I like it or not.
I like the flavors.
The flavor's good, but yeah, there's something.
Now, gonna try a little bit of strawberry.
Hang on here.
That is a really nice key lime. I actually like that.
Yeah, those are good. But not beating up Bob.
Sure.
That's not. Jake said it's partly it's my fault for not giving you the right characters to support your decisions. If that's what you need, I just need to know that. I just need to know what Bob needs from me to help Bob.
I don't know.
I mean, once I know that,
I don't know.
then I can make the game more fun for you.
I'm having fun. I had a great time last week.
Okay. But if you need me to have NPCs that are more supportive of your ideas, I can do that. I just need to know that that's what you need me to do. Then I can have your girly friend be like, "Hey, stop picking on him. We just need to go along with it to see how it works." If that's what you need, then that's what I need to do for you. Then that's what we need to do for you. If you need me not to like beat you up and be lighter on the explain yourself speech, then I need to know that I need to be lighter on the explain yourself speeches. I mean, I want Bob to be the leader of the team, so I want to work with Bob to make sure Bob is
You're
successful.
so full of shit.
I'm not full of shit.
Yeah, you are.
I want to make sure you're actually having a good time and successful with the character.
I was having a great time. Not so much anymore, though.
Do you think your character's in charge?
No.
I mean, have you though? Before today, I mean, I'm sure that you didn't think he was in charge either.
No. I've done what I can to try to take some initiative and try to be in charge. But I've always, I mean, since Emily's been there, I've known that she's like letting me do stuff.
So do you need her to go away? I mean, I need to know what Bob wants to have happen so that I can make shit happen so that Bob is better at it. If she needs to go away and you feel comfortable that it's your team, then I'll fucking remove the NPC.
I don't feel comfortable yet that it's my team, because I don't feel like you're right. I don't interact with the NPCs enough. So
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to give you the opportunity to like, not be like, hey Bob, you're doing all these things wrong, but like, what do you need me to do to help you out
Right.
too in the scenario? Because I see that we're not on the same page. So me and you need to work on getting on the same page, and whatever I need to adjust in the game to make that happen, I want to do.
you don't need to do anything. It's all on me.
But it's not all on you. If you need me to have NPCs react to you a little differently in the conversations, because
That's just gonna change how the game is.
But but here we go. If I'm saying having an NPC react to you like too strongly, and that's actually bothering you like when you're trying to role play, then I need to stop it. Same thing like I had to do for Jake. Like I said, once I realized that when I challenge Jake's ideas,
but then
that it stifles it completely.
When you're changing the style of the characters, though, it's corrupting
Oh no, I
what
won't.
the game is.
I
you
won't
know?
change the style of the characters. What I'll change is the way I interact with you with the
See,
characters.
that's just gonna change things, though, because they're supposed to interact with me a certain way. If I'm doing shit wrong,
Yeah, but if the difference is in how the tone that I take when I have them challenge you. If me going like I did before, explain yourself, tell me why, and having them be aggressive about it doesn't work, and you need it to be
that
like,
doesn't work.
yeah, That's what I'm saying. Is that's not working.
That doesn't work. Yeah.
It's the same thing that I'm noticing with Jake. When I challenge his ideas, Jake shuts down and he's done for the day.
Well, I
had to
because I go on the defensive as well.
So I had to figure. I try my hardest not to do that for Jake because I know that.
See, you can make me mad and I'm done for an hour or so, but I'll come back. But freaking, yeah, he shuts down.
Yeah, if I get Jake off, he's done. So I've changed the way that I GM for Jake when me and Jake are
I think I'm
interacting.
better now.
Yeah, you're
Then I
you've
was.
been better.
Way
You've been
better.
way
And I'm getting
this
better.
time.
But when I'm doing it for you, what I
Because
need to
there's
know
less
is
of us. It
Well,
was when Chris was throwing his bullshit around and pissing it, man, and it would just shut all of us down.
because
you know?
here we go. Trust me, this game that I'm doing, I want coming back to this particular game with the running it. This is the game that I chose to come back to. I want this game to be fun for everyone, and changing the style of how we game. I want you to be playing the characters that you actually want to be playing. I'm tired of we went through this shit with Chris where we had to fucking restart 3 or 4 times. We never got to the story. I don't want to fucking do that no more. I want the story to proceed forward and have a whole adventure, the lifetime of the character. And so if it's a matter of changing the style I'm GMing or changing the NPCs or whatever, I just need some communication to be like, this fucking dude, I'm not getting it. And I'll tell you whether or not, that I'm playing this guy this way because he's supposed to agitate you. Like if I got a boss that's pissy with you and you don't like him, it might be because I want you not to like him. I want you to think of him as an asshole and a dick. But on the other hand, you might be like, I don't fucking like this dude. And I'm like, why do you not like that guy? He's doing all this stuff for you. You're like, he fucking sucks. I hate him.
And there might just be this one thing about him.
And it might be something that I'm role-playing about him that I'm not clicking with you on, and I want to be able to fix it. And if I know and that's what I'm saying. The shutdown thing is not working. That's what I'm like. My problem is that that's why I started with, it always comes down to if Jake's got a better idea and you're deferring to him, I can't read whether or not that you're deferring to him or is Bob just having trouble explaining it. And I'm getting from the conversation that it's because you just need Jake to explain it because it's his idea. That's great. I got that now. Now that I understand that that's kind of the dichotomy of what's going on.
But we've only done that one time.
Yeah, that
No,
was
it's-
it was like 3 weeks ago. I mean,
It's
that
not
was
just-
a big one. I get that.
That was the big one. I'm referring to the big one because that one's easier. But when there's minor things going on about what you want to do,
I don't really see an issue with me deferring to him for something minor.
well, when you're deciding on what you're going to do, like let's go to this shootout thing. When you were deciding what to do, you kept basically going to Jake about what to do. Yeah, when you wanted to go shoot when they shot the bus up, there still was this deferment to Jake about what you guys should be doing.
I don't really feel like he's the one that talked me out of that.
He didn't talk you out of it.
It was more of Pandora. Like,
Pandora eventually
so
was.
why, it wasn't even. I don't even think he really said anything to me.
There was
about
Jake's response and part of that conversation got you. It was a different direction with Jake talking about what he
and
wanted
if
to do.
anything, he
And then
was trying to talk me out of going
Jake
and doing
was.
it.
Well, let's go with
No, that was him in character trying to say, why are we wasting our time doing
in
this?
character. Jake had last week in character. Jake's character was we should go fuck these guys up. Out of game with Jake.
Did you say that?
Yes. Out of character with
Yeah,
Jake
remember,
when Jake was
Because
talking.
you asked me, says, when you feel like this, and I said, I'll follow whatever whatever decision you make. Out of game, as a character, I was saying that I don't think you should do that because it was going against what you were trying to do with your character.
Yeah, which is from picking up on what Jake was telling you and what you were talked about with your character, I had Pandora then step in as an NPC to stand between the idea of you doing it along with what Jake was saying. Because there still needed to be a character, a person, not just Jake the player saying don't do it. There needed to be a reason, another voice of conscience there to help sway you. That's why I brought that.
Apparently I interpreted that wrong.
So that's why I brought her in. But Jake the player was giving you the advice you need to be a superhero.
Right.
Jake the character was, or Kevin was telling you
That's
to go
why-
mutilate all of them.
That's why I was like, well, he didn't say it as in character. He was trying to talk me out of it, though.
Yes, but in character, he was amping you up to go up there and do something violent.
No, in character, he was telling me not to go.
No,
Once
in character-
it was pointless.
No, in character, he was telling you to go up there and.
No, I
be mean.
don't believe I ever said that.
Yeah.
didn't-
No,
The only thing
he
I
was
said in
trying-
character is that I'd follow his lead.
Yeah, he said he would,
In
he
character,
would
that's
do
the only
whatever
thing I
I
said
said
to
to
him.
do, and then out of character, he was like, it's out of character for you.
Well, when you were out to the first part when you asked him what would he do, that was the response of go up there.
That would just be...
He said go up there and take care of it. Then you go back to back to him telling you that he would then follow your decision with whatever it was. But he first was go up there and get revenge. Then it was I'll follow your lead with whatever you decide. Then Jake the player was don't go up there and get revenge.
I don't understand why that's an issue. Because, I mean, he's like, yeah, let's go kick some ass, and then he's like, no, it's out of, it's not worth our time.
Because the separation between those people wasn't well defined for Bob.
I think that's why I changed my mind to not go. Because I got him saying it's not worth our time and Pandora. So I don't really understand, because I was pissed. I get it, but I changed my mind and nothing happened. I dropped it.
I think what happened there, you're absolutely right. It did flow like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree.
The problem is that you went from amped up to -2.
No.
Yeah, your emotional state dropped like that because you suddenly changed your mind and then wouldn't explain to anybody why you changed your mind.
I did explain.
Well,
though.
the entire time, yeah, because the time that he changed his mind
Yeah.
was after he got done talking with Pandora, and that whole thing was said in game.
Yeah. And that
So
was
why
all
does
in
there have to
game,
be
and
any
she-
kind
and
of
she dropped me down, from
So
not
then
being,
why does there have to be a description of why he doesn't want to do everything when
Yeah.
Pandora just laid everything out?
Yeah, and it was pretty clear that she talked me out of doing something
Because
stupid.
when the explanation is, never mind, we're just not going to do it, is not a good narration.
That's how I deal with regular life every day.
That's
Never
not
mind, we're not going to do it.
When you're dealing with high drama, that's not a good descriptor.
Wasn't that high drama in my eye.
I don't. Well, that's because you need to lift your pinky when you drink tea.
Exactly.
It was kind of
I think that kind of flowed the right. I mean,
it did.
I don't understand why it's an issue if it happened the right way.
Because it was never a definitive decision in the end.
But there was.
No, there wasn't.
I said we weren't going to go do
The
it.
answer was, I'm tired of talking about it. We're just not going to do anything. But that
That's-
wasn't. It wasn't
That's a pretty definitive. Me saying we're not going to do anything is pretty definitive.
Hey,
But there was no explanation to the group for why you chose all of a sudden not to do those
So
things.
I have to
Because-
explain everything I do to them. Whether if I want to go take a shit and then I change my
No,
mind.
Well, no, I mean, the conversation with him and Pandora happened right there in the middle,
Yeah.
right in front
I
of
mean,
everybody.
it was.
Why does he have to go back through
Yeah.
and say
he doesn't have to go back through.
You just said I did
Well,
that.
yeah, but
No,
yeah,
he has to go. He has to end the conversation with, you know what? You're right. I don't think we need to go do that.
well, that's kind of what I thought
Yeah,
that's how it.
That is not how it ended. It was, we're just not going to do anything, and the conversation was over.
What's the difference?
One comes off being fed up with the conversation that you're in, and you get frustrated with having to relay your ideas to them. So you're just not going to
So
continue.
maybe I was trying to relay my frustration with me changing my own mind to Pandora,
Yeah.
and by
Yes.
And then as the group leader, you just have to take it a half step further and just tell them that this is the decision I'm making. Because you have to realize that you're the group leader, and you have to have some responsibility to them.
It's that one next step with if you were talking to somebody and I just said, yeah, I'm just not going to do it, and walked off,
I would think you're not going to do it.
but you'd be left with why are we not? What
But like Jake said, that entire conversation with Pandora happened in front of everyone, so that they should all be smart enough to figure out She talked him out of it.
Yeah.
She did the right thing because she made sense.
Did she?
Why wouldn't they? You
Hey.
expect us to make that assumption?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You just said that.
Not from that ending of that conversation.
What's the difference?
Back to the difference is that I have to, based on your conversation and statements, determine what a whole group of other people believe based on how it ended. I have to interpret it for a different group of people than when I make a blank.
You're playing the people that you have to interpret that stuff for. So why can't you just make the assumption that they're smart enough that Pandora talked them out of it? We're done. We're done here.
Because is that what you want me to have them believe? Because I can't interpret your intention is the issue.
Me saying we're not going to do it is pretty good intention.
No, that could be that you're not going to do it because you're frustrated with the conversation with the NPC. That could be because she's talked you out of it. That could be because you intend to later go do it yourself. That could be that you're just going to get with this guy and go do
I'm
it.
just going to go deal with it myself.
But there's all those other options in that statement. So it leaves it open. There was no statement of, and none of you do anything. So are you saying no, but you really want?
They're like there for the entire conversation though. So.
But
okay.
the intention of what you're trying to have in the conversation is what I'm getting from. I get they heard the whole conversation, but what are you intending for them to get out of that conversation when it ends?
How am I supposed to determine what they're supposed to get out of it if you're playing every single one of those characters?
Because
you're the one making that assumption.
No, because you give me in the way it ends, you tell me what you want them to have in the end of that conversation. What impact you want that to have when the conversation is over. Because you could be like, wink, wink, to Knockout to go take care of that, and look right at Pandora and go, don't worry, we're not going to do anything. When that really means Pandora go take care of it, or not Pandora, but Knockout go take care of that. You're right. We're just not going to talk about it. Does that mean that they get to do what they want? Does that mean that then they get to that leaves it open for interpretation of what I want, not interpretation of what you want.
An interpretation of what he wants is how you get screwed.
Exactly.
That's how he does it to me.
That's
every
why
time.
I don't talk to him about stuff.
But that's why I'm warning you of all these. If you want them to behave a certain way, express it in the way you intended to come off. If not, stop and go. I intend that to come off like this.
See, that's new, because never in this game or any other game where intent is implied has anybody ever. Okay, after we just had this 30-minute long conversation, this is what I want you to do about it. Nobody's ever done that.
Yeah, because usually you leave it up to my interpretation.
Or other players.
Well, other players I don't care about. I don't care how Jake's character wants to interpret it, or how he interprets it for his character. I'm only caring about what you want to have happen with all those other characters that were there.
See, we've never done that though.
Yeah, we haven't done that.
Any NPC we've ever dealt with, we've never done that. Any game, any genre.
And
totally agree.
And what you will find if you look at it.
So why do you
leave it
expect
hanging,
it now then?
It falls off the
Because
cliff.
every time we've done that,
Like you said, I've been playing Ace for 10 years. I've never done that before. Why should we do that now?
Because first off, you've kind of been the leader, but you've never been the guy that wants to be the leader. So in getting you to be the leader, I want to set the idea that I want to make sure that I understand exactly what you're intending to do, so that I do not have the NPCs reacting in such a manner that is not going to benefit Bob.
But in the same argument, we had that conversation in front of everybody.
Yes.
They should all already know the intent. I mean, it should be. I made it pretty clear that we weren't going to do anything. Yeah, she talked me down. They saw it happen. I was pissed, then I wasn't. They saw it happen. There has to be some implied understanding there from the intelligent characters that are
Well,
there.
there are, but each one of those characters is going to interpret that set of events completely different.
Why?
Because
Why would they do that?
because they're all
Each
individual.
one has
But
an
they're
individual-
all part of the same system. They all saw what
They're all-
happened.
they're all
they all
individual
heard
people.
everything that was said.
Yeah, but they're individual people. Like you're gonna go. Let's go to Knockout. Knockout supports whatever decision you make. Is the exact.
Well, she's
decision.
fucking crazy, okay?
But she's gonna. If you
don't
say,
use her for an example.
I'm gonna go through the whole list. If you go to Knockout, she's always gonna agree with whatever decision you make, regardless if she agrees or disagrees. She's gonna follow what you tell her, without a question. What you say is what goes. What you say after that conversation to her specifically is going to be how she takes that conversation. You move over to, let's say, Bunny. Let's go to Bunny. Bunny's going to listen to what that just was and think that you were a total sissy for backing down out of that conversation and that you just gave in to what Pandora wanted. You're a total sissy and a fool because you let Pandora talk you out of going and getting what's done. And you keep going down the list of how those guys, all of them interpreted that different. Well, in the old days, Jake is right, and you're right. I would have taken that, took all the negative portions out of that, and punished you for not having done it correctly. All these characters that
We
didn't
did
like
it right, though.
you did.
Why does there have to be punishment for doing something right that
Because
you just said was right?
Because all these characters that are there.
It doesn't matter. If you think it's right, you're the only one that matters. They should fall in line.
But they're individual people. They're not what Jar thinks is.
They're all in the same system though.
What system?
The right.
But they all fall in from anywhere from like mega superhero to villainous.
You know what though? You have to assume, because they've all had the same training, they've all taken the same programs. There's going to be a level of candor between each of them. You know, they see something, they watch this conversation happen. They watch the guy who's in charge be talked down out of something. I understand some of them are going to be like, oh, he just pussed out, and Knockout, of course, is like, hey, want to go fucking take care of it? I get that, but the level freaking playing field should be, everyone says, okay, we're done, we're good, nothing's gonna happen. We just saw what happened. That's the way I interpret that.
See, when you do
That's why I don't feel like I should have to take that next extra step and say, okay, we're done. You don't do anything. Knockout, don't do anything. You know, go to each and every one of them. I didn't just puss out. I shouldn't have to explain myself to each and every character the different reason why they think I did something wrong, whether I pussed out or whether I freaking should go behind their back and kick everybody's ass. It should just be, I shouldn't have to do that. In 10 years, we've never done that.
In 10 years, I've absolutely had everybody do that. I did that to Matt every time he ran the team. That's why all these conversations went on in the background with Matt having to track all these people down.
What conversations in the background?
Tons of little individual conversation with each member of the team. He had to convince everybody of all his decisions. Every single time he made one, there were all these other people he had to convince that he was right.
Who?
Lydia, Val.
So you're talking about NPCs.
NPCs.
He actually did not in game time because we.
No, he did it in game time.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, in game time, a lot. Had to convince them why his decisions were right when he got challenged. Then, after it became a certain point in the game to where they trusted his decisions, they stopped questioning him and stopped challenging his ideas. But in the beginning, yeah, they challenged everything he did until he had a rapport with each of them. And then they were like, whatever, do what you want. So I've been doing that with every time either of you guys have been in charge of anything. The NPCs always challenge your ideas. They always are there to challenge what you do.
I don't remember ever seeing any of that.
It happened to you specifically in the last one, the Brave New World, where I had you in charge of a small group of people. Once you establish your leadership, Halligan and what's her face?
Yeah, you saw great.
Knockout fell in line. But
Halligan did and fucking Knockout did, but that's just their personality.
But they got into trusting his decisions and fell in line. I've been doing that the whole time.
Right.
Whereas you're right. Once you establish it,
you don't have to keep going. You're right. Because I remember that.
I just got to get you to the point where you explain it, and then they're on, and then it's done. Because then we've established the narrative that we're following.
See, the problem with us switching games fucking 100 times in the last 2 years has
Yeah,
it's fucked with my head. I don't like games like run together.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did we do this in the Dwarven campaign? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I have the same issue.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
so a lot of
and
it is
us,
like,
us switching. 'Cause
And then we go-
We played like 4 different games in like 4 months, and that was hard on me. Because you know it takes me time to
Yeah.
get into.
well, that's
stuff.
why, like in this stuff, I don't want to like. I'm trying to make a big point out of when we're getting back in the
No,
role game.
I agree. You're
When I
do
see
remember
something
that.
that's not working right, I don't want to let it fester for fucking 5-6 months. I want to like.
No.
I see this problem. Let's
I
get
know
it.
what you're talking about now.
And once I get that established, I'm good.
There has to be a rapport with the NPCs.
Yeah,
When you tell them we're doing this, they're just cool with their decision.
Yeah.
But you have to get there.
Yeah, and currently what we
Because
have.
once they know what's going on, it's like they know what's going on in my head, why I'm making
Exactly,
decisions.
and then I can have them roll with
Right.
what you're saying.
Okay,
But
I
we've
remember
been
now.
but currently in the game we're having, both you and Jake, haven't really attached yourselves into the NPCs
Yeah, no,
to
I-
figure out
I know what you're talking about.
and then establish that connection where you guys know what to do. Like we were talking about, you guys don't even know what all the powers are of the NPCs. You know, and if they don't work, like I said, if you don't like their personalities, kick them out. They have to match up with what you want.
I mean, here it's like we tried to make that decision of that plan to where we would all sit down and we would all discuss everybody's abilities and stuff. And then every time that we've tried to do it, like the first time, everything was just a huge kibosh.
That's because
And then we planned on doing it the second time, and it never came to be. We just passed
I
over.
challenge that. I challenge that because your characters have access to all of that information. So as the GM, I have no idea why you as players or characters feel like you need to even do that. If Bob wants to know what everybody can do, he can look it up.
It's not more about when me and Jake had that idea. When Jake had that idea and then presented it to me, it was more about us getting to know the character and getting. We were
doing the
actually
exact same
trying,
thing that you told us that we weren't doing.
Yeah, and we were
to
actually trying
actually
to get,
interact with the NPCs.
Yeah, and then
But
Emily put the kibosh on.
I put the
because
kibosh on it because the explanation of it was we just need to know what powers they have and how they work.
See, and when I tried to explain to Emily that, because I remember telling her that we were going to get everybody together and try to see when stuff happened and how stuff happened and what they do, and she was just like, didn't want to hear it.
That's because in this part of the story in the background of what you guys are doing, you get together every day and practice superhero shit every day. We just don't role play it.
It's more. It was
Then
more of a personality.
Then the whole argument of we don't know what they do isn't valid then, because then you should have told us what all of their powers were.
Yeah.
Every time we've asked you what can they do, you should have said, well, this is their power set.
But you
not
guys,
well, you haven't interacted with that character
because
with that NPC.
what you're
But we have.
That's because in the place where you're at with what you guys are currently learning, you aren't going into like a danger room, busting out all your powers and fighting villains every day. You're going in and learning stuff with them every day. Not necessarily are they using their powers all the time in those processes, but the interaction with those people is everyday interaction. It's just not them activating their powers the entire time to do those things. I mean, if you're going to go sit down and learn firefighting techniques, you don't need to activate your powers to learn firefighting techniques.
So I feel like there needs to be more RP than with the NPCs, because I want to know the first time their powers arise. And
see, for me, all of that stuff is the role play part that I keep trying to encourage you guys to
that's
get
what
to.
I'm agreeing with you. I need to do more of that.
And that's the part that's missing, is your actual interaction with talking them to actually know them, knowing what their powers are and stuff. I mean, to me, that's a conversation. That's me and you guys sitting down and have a conversation about what they do and how that works. Because you should be able to look that up on a computer. Knowing who they are and how they, knowing what they do and what they think is the role play part.
Right.
And so that's the part that I don't see happening.
I agree.
I mean, if you want to know what the superpowers are, fuck, I'll tell you exactly what their limits
This
are.
one? It's strawberry.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's good, but it's texture. It's too much like Greek yogurt. I don't
Oh, you don't like Greek yogurt?
I don't like Greek yogurt.
But yeah, so that's the part that
I'm agreeing with you.
yeah, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
We are. And now that I remember having to earn the trust.
And it's not a lot. I just have to have a little bit of
Right.
explanation from you on how you want your character to come across to each individual. I mean, because if you want to be a dick to Bunny every time you interact with her, then I want to know that you're.
The thing is, I don't want to be a dick to anybody, but she has pushed everyone to the point where that's what you get.
And she's supposed to. That's what I was saying. I want to role play.
That's why she's leaving.
I want to role play their personalities to the character, and not really, not be concerned with what you have. But I want you to look at the characters as you interact with them and go, this character's not working with me. That one's got to go.
So, okay.
And once I get that established, then yeah, you're right. They will fall in line, and you will not have to go through that explanation.
Okay.
They'll just do what you want them to do because
I
they know what you're going to.
I don't feel like I'm ready to like actually be in charge, like full time in charge. I don't feel like I'm ready for that.
And the other part is like, do I need to role play more combat scenarios so that you guys get more familiar with the combat?
Yeah.
Do I need to role play? I mean, what is it that Bob needs me to do so that Bob understands what's going on? Is what I need from Bob, because I want the game to be fun for Bob, where he knows what he's going into and he's confident in what's happening. And that's what I want to do. I'm tired of being the asshole that punishes you guys.
I need you to stop working till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because 4 hours of game time is not enough.
Yeah.
To get anything done.
Yeah, me and Matt were yakking about that too.
I mean, honestly.
It's the same issue we had on when we tried to do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, you can.
We can.
Yeah, 4 hours is just not. I mean, because
Yeah, you guys are out here by 10. We're not gaming till 6.
yeah,
We're bitching about 2.
yeah.
We're like, we just get warmed up. I just get started, and then we're done.
And the problem is if we move to Sunday, then you don't have time to do your grocery shopping and all.
Well, no,
that.
I would just do them on Saturday.
Yeah.
If we were moving to Sunday like that, we could game until softball. We could start at noon. And play.
Well, I would want to even start before that. I mean, if you
10
play
o'clock
at
on
5,
Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do that if that's what we want to do.
Because
I just didn't want to do it for Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel has too much of a history of bailing on us.
Yeah.
I mean, if Bob wants to do that, fucking hey, I'm in.
No, I just don't think 4 hours is enough because I mean we get into a 2-hour long conversation and it's like what's even the point?
And I'm even cool with like today and then playing on Sunday. You know, getting together and gaming on Sunday for a while.
Yeah.
That's fine too. But I mean, it would be cool with me to do it on Sunday. Start in the afternoon, start before noon and do it. To whatever the game is.
Well, because I was thinking with you, it's Sunday's pretty much your Saturday anyway because you have Sunday, Monday off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Sunday would kind of work for you, and as long as we don't do it late, it's fine for Bob
Yeah, fine for Bob.
because
I can't be out too late.
because he can't be out real late. But if we leave, 9 o'clock, then,
Well,
or
like you were
even
saying,
earlier.
if we get here at 10, game till softball.
Uh-huh. And then
Or
leave
when
after
so- or
softball.
when
Because that would mean we
softball
game
leaves.
till we at least the earliest game is at 5.
Yeah.
Late
So
games
you
at
game, so you
9.
game
Yeah.
till 4.
Yeah.
That would work. But I just didn't want to do it for Rachel.
Yeah.
Because that's ridiculous.
Well,
to
I'm
move
not
for her.
doing anything for Rachel anymore. I don't even fucking.
No, after I see. I was with Rachel. I was under the impression that her schedule was changed, not that she requested it.
Mhm.
After you told me that she requested those days, then I was done.
Yeah. And what she did was, it wasn't that she had them changed to where she didn't have Saturday. What she did was she went in there and told them, I want you to do this, and just left it open for them to give her whatever schedule they wanted to. When she could have said, I need Saturdays off. Which is the problem that I had is like, you didn't say you needed Saturdays
I don't
off.
honestly feel like she's ever been committed to the group anyway.
No.
Like you look at these 4 guys right here, we're all pretty committed to the group.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna do what we can to get here. She's like, whatever.
But yeah,
Yeah, we're not gonna miss.
By the way,
because we
I
have a
didn't
meeting
intend to be
circle.
like big on you guys. Like, I don't want to bash on nobody. That's not what my intention was. My intention was I need to get these problems solved.
No,
We don't need to be 6
get-
months down
I
the
get
road
what
and
you're
everybody
saying.
pissed off. We need to be like on the fucking same road. If there's something that needs to happen in the game to make the game more fun, we need to just fucking get it done.
And give me an example of where I've been messing up, because I don't realize I'm doing it. So give me
Your
an
thing
example.
your thing for Bob is if Bob's got an idea and you know that there's a contrary opinion, you just will throw it at Bob, and Bob just can't like readjust once that contrary opinion. It takes him a while to figure out what he wants to do. And it's not that you're doing anything terrible to Bob. It's just that Bob goes,
Well,
"You're right."
no, you said that this was the biggest issue that I had with gaming was that I do this. So it has to be, so there, i.e., it's a big, big thing.
It's just that if whoever's in charge, you do this. It's contrary opinion. If Bob had one opinion, you'll have a contrary opinion to what he's got. If it's Matt, it's a different opinion than what Matt's got. It's always questioning that guy's opinion and whether or not his opinion is right or wrong.
Isn't that the point, though?
It depends.
I mean, if you're offering another point of view,
But it's not always an offering of an opinion. It's just that I don't like that.
because I see what he does, and a lot of times it's him off saying this is another direction we can go.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's a full explanation, and sometimes it's just Jake is almost shut down when he disagrees. And then because he's not expressing the opinion, then it begins to bother the other people.
When you shut down, you don't offer the best explanation of why something needs to happen sometimes.
Yeah, if it's I'm making sure that's clear. If it's a contrary opinion, and then they challenge your like that confrontation thing, if that opinion's like, why do you think that? If you're fuck it, I don't need to explain myself. That happens. Not every day, not every fucking conversation, but it happens.
Okay.
It's the same reason I get mad. It just happens. I need to be called out on my shit
It's
too.
the same reason why you and I sit here and yell at each other the same thing for 45 minutes until we both figure out that we're saying the same thing, opposite directions.
Yeah, me and Jared's never done that
Yeah,
before.
we do the same thing. I'm stubborn like that, you know. But I've been making the effort to not do that. That's why I'm saying, like, this whole conversation is about me trying not to be an asshole, because I know that people get mad at me because they think that I'm trying to punish them for bad decisions, and the truth is I'm trying not to.
You know what? I'm gun shy because of past experiences.
Yeah.
I will fess up to that.
And I'm making an effort to not punish people for making bad decisions.
And
it's why I'm trying to go out of my way to get better explanations.
It's been kind of hard sometimes because, I mean, like when we were like back in the old days, like when we were doing D&D and original Marvel back in freaking in the Weed and Happy Camp and all that shit, it was your gaming style was different. I mean,
Well, yeah,
you
because-
would actually have like the NPCs. If an NPC had something to say to a PC, you'd have the NPC come up and say something.
I still do that.
But not nearly how it used to be.
I'll explain why. I'll give because I've actually analyzed this in my gaming. What happened in the evolution of the various people we've had game with us? People began to think of my NPCs as like stick figures, so they became less and less relevant to people in the game. So they didn't really care that my NPC was there. It wasn't a character, a person. It was just something that interacts with you. You couldn't actually get anything from them. So when I would interject the NPC, they're irrelevant. They're just not relevant. So people would ignore what they said. They didn't want them to be there to contradict what was going on in the story.
See, the problem is the group that you have right here. I've never.
There have been a few recently where you guys have just not engaged with any of them.
Not engaging and not thinking they're relevant. That's two different.
But not
things.
engaging is calling them irrelevant.
But
if you don't talk
if you
to them.
have no like, I'm not gonna walk up to some random person on the street and just start talking about my superpowers.
But those aren't the NPCs that I'm talking about. It's like, right now I've had all my NPCs in the game for 4 weeks, and there's very little interaction between any of them right now. That's part of what we're having a conversation for, is that there was no interaction with them to even know what their superpowers were. So in the game at this point, they've been irrelevant. They're just characters to challenge your ideas.
But when have you ever had an NPC come up to one of us and engage us in any kind of a conversation?
And we go through
and
this.
You haven't.
I can't pick NPCs to talk to PCs.
But in the past, that's never been the issue.
That I still don't have that issue for NPCs that are established in the story. I don't have a problem with having them come talk to you because they're established. The same thing before was, if they were important in the story, they always interact with you. In Marvel, the problem is they're not important in the story till you make them relevant. Somehow they have to become relevant to your character. I mean, and I still do, when something is going off, like I did with Pandora, had Pandora challenge what he was doing. I still did that.
It's really hard to have a conversation with someone now that you don't really know anything about them.
All right. Your character right now knows nothing about Kevin. What do you know about him?
He likes fish.
He likes to fish and throws barbecues and drinks. I mean, but that's my challenge to that statement, is that you know just as much about his character as you do half my NPCs.
I know that I bring that guy to the game every fucking week.
I know, but
and we talk about the game.
But that's kind of what my answer is when Jake says that to me. I'm like, but you know, no one interacts with them. So what happened was, I've gone to, nobody interacts with them, so I have no reason to present you with somebody out of that you want nothing to do with.
Another problem with the 4 hours of game time, it's really hard to justify.
Well, you don't have the time to really do any of that.
Yeah,
all that stuff
we have no time.
If you consider kind of backstory.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want to spend all your time just doing this little backstory shit. Let's get to the main storyline.
Well, what's the main story you guys are working on?
I don't even know now,
I'll go back to what I said when we started. The main storyline was for you to interact with the NPCs. When I started, I said interact with the NPCs so I can get you established with who's on your team, who you don't like, who your friends are, what is the day-to-day of what you guys do. Let's get the routine established so that I can begin to start punching out time, and then I can get past all that. Let's establish the routine. Who are your friends? Who are your enemies? Who do you not like? Let's get all that figured out, and then I can start moving it all faster for you. Then we know what's going on. I need to know who your rival is. Who do you not like? What characters are your friends? That's why I settled into, when you guys are, nobody approaches you, I had Pandora approach you about getting him his girlfriend. I did do those things. It just,
that's true.
Once that happened, you made both of those characters irrelevant.
Yeah.
No, you didn't interact really with her, and then Jake never went really back to Pandora. So I took Pandora out of the queue and set her over here to wait for the next opportunity to insert the next NPC to talk. And I ran Bunny the entire time as the antagonist, the entire time.
Yeah.
But when you're asking me about having, I have done it. I just haven't made them as bold, because when I give Jake a very bold and over the top NPC, Jake doesn't react well to them.
What are you talking about?
Anytime I present Jake with an over-the-top NPC, hence any of the weird hillbillies, any over-the-top character like that, that is not an NPC that Jake's going to respond well to. And I now know that, so I don't run any of those characters.
You agree with that statement?
At one time, yes. Now, not as much. Because a lot of the times that when all that shit was happening was when I was probably the lowest I've ever been.
Well,
and I was having a lot of issues with shit like that.
Okay.
And like both of you have said, I'm doing a lot better now. I'm in a lot better headspace. So
I'm just going historically.
Historically don't, because before that I had no issues.
I go all the way back to way back. You've never been one to react well to over-the-top characters. I mean, over the top.
Does anybody react well to, like, Knockout can fucking shut me down in a heartbeat because I just don't listen to her, you know?
I don't.
She starts talking about fucking pulling cocks out and fucking this and that, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, you know?
Yeah, you don't react well to over the top characters either. I mean, that's just those are NPCs you guys don't react. I mean, I'll throw that in your court too, that you don't react.
Yeah.
But I know that about you know, Jake. I know for a fact
I can
doesn't
put
like
up
it.
I can put up with her for about 5 minutes
Then why is she on your team?
because I like her.
Why? You don't, I mean,
But you don't like
but
her.
you don't like her.
I don't know.
If she shuts you down so bad, get rid of her.
Is it because you saw boobs?
I think she's a little too aggressive.
If I ran that same NPC at Jake, I don't think he would like that character either. It's great when she's over there. This is my opinion of Jake. It's okay if she's like, if she was on Matt's team and Matt had to deal with it, he's entertained by watching the character, but doesn't want that character interacting with him.
That might be why you fell for the Karen, the whole Karen thing.
Karen's the same way.
Because you like the character, you liked watching the interaction with others, but as soon as you were the one that had to interact with her, all of a sudden.
And Karen's another one of those characters that I would classify as over the top.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's fucking crazy over the top.
But that's over the top. You know, the over the top character is Karen, Knockout. Those characters are over the top. And what I'm saying is, I know for a fact that that's not a character that I can put at Jake. I know that. So I don't interact any of those NPCs out. Unless Jake is like, hey, I'm calling Karen, I'm not bringing that character to Jake.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way.
Well, you noticed we still didn't.
He hasn't brought her in.
I still didn't bring her in because here's something I learned about Bob. Bob doesn't like that character either. I mean, old days, like you're saying, I would have ran that character at you because Jake brought her in, and I just ran her until you were fucked up.
I already was.
No, I meant like fucked up, like shutting you down with her, having your night be ruined when she appears when you're having a good night. Type. Boom.
At the beginning of the night, not the end of the night.
Yeah. But the NPC thing, that's what I'm saying, is I still do bring NPCs to you guys, but if
I'm more comfortable with how you used to have it in the old days. You know, because especially now, it's if I don't see an NPC or an NPC doesn't say something, I'll forget that character's even there. Even though I'm looking at their name on a piece of paper, I'll still forget they're there. So it's hard for me. It's not that I want them to become, you know.
Well, see, that's where I'm at with you. Is I know that in your case, some of it is memory issue and not remembering who they are. And one of the other ones is that
They're just flat out forgetting they're there.
in this game, it really is that there are so many that people can't remember who all of them are. And what I watch happening for you guys is, you guys get, and this is why I'm trying to get Jar Jar or Crystal or somebody else in, because I watched Bob get hooked up with role-playing with you, and then forget that there are other characters in the room. You guys are role-playing back and forth, having a good time, and there's like 5 other characters there that aren't relevant in the conversation because you guys are just hanging out with each other, role-playing. And boom, they're out of, they're irrelevant. And so,
I'm used to you butting in with an NPC, butting in with that as
well, in the old days, part of the issue for us is there were only like 5.
That's true. There was a lot.
I only had 5 characters. Like one of the things that, like for Haz over here, Haz has got like a select number of people that he has of NPCs that he actually interacts with. So I only have a select number of characters that I have to interact with Matt as far as NPCs. With you guys, I don't have that select group yet that where I can have them just interrupt with something they're doing or come to you to have you do something stupid. We haven't established that rapport that I'm talking about. We haven't established it yet to where I know what you guys are.
See, in the last version, I had friends. Knockout was actually my friend.
Well, Halligan and Knockout.
Halligan, Tyrone.
Halligan, Tyrone. I mean, I could go down a list of people that were your character's friends.
Where I would actually hang out and we would interact on a daily basis.
Yeah, and here's the thing with those characters. Like you said, I knew what those characters thought about your decisions, without having to role play having the interaction.
Because we had interacted for so long that.
And I could just go, oh, and so even when you did, and the other advantage to that is like I could bring them to you because I knew what situations they would be talking to you about.
Right.
The things that you would be interested in, then they could go to you and talk to you. In this, the problem is we've gotten so early into it that you guys don't have any of those people.
But I really do think that the time is one of the reasons why we haven't been able to do that.
I don't think it's the time. I think it's because you guys get into doing stuff, because we've been trying to press this narrative, hurry up and get into the narrative.
Right.
that
That's
you-
what he means by the time. I mean,
Well-
we're pressed for time.
No,
Because,
it's,
well, it's because I feel that's what we should be doing, because we only have a couple hours.
yeah, and
Yeah.
what I really am looking, the reason I want the school stuff, and I've been pressing all the ideas of the school and all what's going on in the universe, is because I'm trying to get one of the things we failed to do in the previous ones was I never really got you guys like involved in the universe and the function of the universe itself and the creation of it. I mean, this time I'm like, here's the creation of the universe. What input do you have? I'm going to mold it with a base a little bit on what you think. So here's some things I can tell you that I am doing. One, I'm eliminating the operator. You still have an operator, but not in the same fashion. Like right now, there's an NPC list that tells you who the operators are, right? All gone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have, and it'll come out in role play, is that the operator is just going to be referred to as the operator. And you guys are going to be unaware of who they are. And they're all going to have the same image, and they're all going to sound the same. And the game mechanic behind why they're doing it is because when the operator tells you to do something that may risk your life, they don't want you to retaliate back on the operator. Because people may be ordered to die. And they don't want you murdering the operator when you find out which one it was that said that. If your friend dies because the operator told them to go do something that risked their life, they don't need you to do it. What does that do for you? It means that I'm going to put an operator in your augmented reality. So you can see someone that you can actually interact with. That way that person becomes,
That's gonna be fucking weird.
that way that person is there to actually walk you, like you were saying. I'm
You're gonna
not,
have
and let me go with
fucking
this.
people in your head at the
It's going to be
same
more
time?
than more than that, because you're actually going to see it, and it's about seeing the operator. Because now, like you were talking about, I think you guys forget sometimes that they can teleport you also. You don't have to use your powers.
Right.
They can teleport you. So what it'll do for Bob, who's like, I don't know, sometimes I don't feel like I'm in charge. Now you have an operator that you can actually bounce an idea off of and have them
Are they gonna be
respond.
there all the time?
Anytime you go online, you go
Not
online and the
not
operator can be
online.
visually in your augmented
Okay.
reality.
Yeah, but you being a team leader, you can go online at any point.
Right.
Yeah. So you can have access to the operator at any point you choose. I'm going to do the same thing with an augmented reality image of mother and father, so that those computer systems are also available for you to actually discuss things with. So that, and the next part of that is to actually go over like the ability to counsel everyone. So if Bob's actually online and wants another opinion, he can access the opinions of any other leader that's currently online. So you can create like a table of people that are there to talk to. Does that make sense?
Kind of like the captain's table.
How do
Yeah,
you-
kind of like the captain's table.
But if you don't really know those people, why would you try to talk to them?
Because they're other team leaders.
There are other team leaders who are online right now in operations.
Just like in the military.
So you're gonna fucking bug them while they're doing something?
Here we go. That's where we get into this like movement thing. I think this
Yeah.
they have the speed of thought. Everything happens at the speed of thought. So you're not actually interrupting them.
So you could actually have what would seem like an hour conference, and it would literally take 2 seconds.
It wouldn't even take any time at all. The game mechanic,
you.
for the speed of thought, it doesn't actually count towards time. So you could sit in the gear and have a council with all of them and then go, I'm going to do this. And start the initiative right there, or be in the middle of combat and do
Right.
that exact same thing. You could also do that. The reason I like this idea is because then you could pull even like Jake, who you want to talk to in the game, pull him right there. Stop. Conference. And call in the characters you want to have the conference with. What do I need to be doing right now? What's your idea? That would allow you to get out of this.
You can't ask me for my ideas anymore.
Whatever. But that would allow. But what I'm getting at is that would allow you guys to get answers like Bob's asking. Well, how do I get another character's opinion on what's going to happen? That's how you would do it. You would go to conference and then take the person you want to talk to into a conference and actually converse with them about it.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
What's that?
I'm still a little confused.
How would it work as in when?
As in, I understand you get to pull from the people that are active, but if you don't, like,
Well, it's think about it, it's
if you
basically
don't
what
know
you do.
them,
You don't know them.
Well, just like in the military, if you have a conference with like if you're in a war conference, you're not going to know everybody on that conference. You might know them by name, but
Well,
you don't personally know
and
any of them.
as you do that more and more, you're gonna know them all. The idea would be you would start doing it at a C team, go to a B team, and still continue to do it. And you already, if you got into the class, then you already have a mentor. There's supposed to be a mentor you meet once a week. But you would eventually get to know some of them. Because you're going to be like, you already know, like Arrowette. Arrowette's the leader of Team A. Is Arrowette online? I mean, that would be my starting point. Is Arrowette online? And then, yes. Can I have can I ask her for a conference? And then, boom, Arrowette's online. You're in a conference room with her. There she is in your augmented reality, standing there ready to talk. Then you can be like, hey, Arrowette, is there anybody else you would think we should invite into this conversation? I really need another opinion. Know anybody that's got a contrary opinion to yours? Someone that would disagree with you? Oh, Scar? Yeah, invite Scar into this conversation. Because Scar's going to agree with him a lot more. Although technically he's not a murderer, but more of an anti-villain, but you know.
I'm not a murderer
We
yet.
haven't gotten that far yet.
No.
Give him a chance.
Give me a chance. I gotta... What are you playing as?
Instagram.
Oh, wow. It's a good game.
It can be if you like to stir the pot.
Oh, we know you like to stir the pot.
I would never stir any pots.
How's your mom doing?
She's doing good.
The fifth wheel a lot better than the Airstream?
Eh.
you got to go upstairs to get to bed.
Yeah. And the stairs to get inside of it are hellacious.
Oh, yeah.
You'll just have to build a deck.
Yeah.
Build you a nice little deck with some big stairs.
Yeah. So I don't feel
The
like
other
I'm gonna
the other
die.
advantage, really, Jake, that I saw to that conference stuff, is that, like you were saying, when I see Bob about to make a huge mistake,
You can have others bring him up.
I can
him
have
into
someone
account.
else bring him into conference to talk to him about it.
I think you need to be a little bit more
Well,
proactive.
well,
with
part of
some
it is
stuff.
that, like, I realized that what you were saying was true. There needed to be an NPC there to when I see you guys stumbling, to help you guys along. The other one is that one of the techniques that I read this week is using splash pages. So I'm going to do that a little bit more for you guys.
And I do hope you realize that that the dual personalities is intentional on my
I know it.
Okay.
It's
I just
the
want- I was
it's
just-
a symbiote and Kevin.
And Kevin. Okay.
I do know
Because
that.
remember, because each time that I go crazy and want to kill everything is me and the symbiote. Otherwise, it's just Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to make sure that was.
I totally caught on
because,
onto it.
because for a second there, it seemed like everybody was confused that I was two different people and I didn't know how to play the character.
No,
Yeah,
that's not what I got. I don't have that criticism at all.
Okay.
But like the splash page thing, because here's some of the stuff that I realized, like having you guys try to do all that investigative work when you guys needed to go into the guy's office and do all that crap. I realized real quick that that's not really your guys' thing as players. So I like the idea of splash pages, whereas I tell you that you've done those things, and then get you to the next point. Because if it's contrary to your characters, then I'm just waiting to figure out whether or not you're engaging in what fashion. And then once I do that, I can just bring you guys to the next part. Because you should be able to rely on the computer system, the operator, the AI, and all those guys. Plus, most of your guys' investigative work is so fucking high that you're a Batman. It doesn't take you guys long to solve problems.
Well, it is hard sometimes when you try to have us explain something that we're doing when our characters know Yeah,
Well, 100 times.
100 times
well,
more.
But one of the things is that in the last bit I've gotten, in the last few interactions on that subject, I've gotten that that's a problem. So I'm not going to do it anymore. You know, when there's stuff like that, I'll just feed you. I'll go to the splash page of telling you what information you've got.
You got right over there, Bob?
My eyeballs are fucking burning.
You need me to turn that thing off?
No, it's allergies or.
I'm
mold or-
dried out like crazy today too.
Yeah, my eyeballs are like fucking.
You got some of those drops, don't you?
I don't think I do anymore.
Oh, really?
I think they were left open and dried up.
Of course, this was 6 months ago when I knew they were.
But
And I
so
knew
some of
that.
that stuff I'm trying to knock out of there and get rid of. Because like tonight, my plan was to start you guys right off at combat, if that's what you guys were wanting to do.
Oh, what do you want to do, Bob? I mean, it's 8 o'clock now. I mean, do we want to? I mean, is everybody up for just doing something tomorrow? Just trying to change this over to Sundays, or what do you think?
Do we even know what time our game is tomorrow?
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I mean, that
You
would
have
be,
the schedule?
Yeah, Josh posted it.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
But he posted it as a photo response, not as a main post.
a photo response. What the hell's that?
Somebody asked what
That was just last Sunday. Scott posted it.
oh, somebody
'Cause
did.
Donna asked, and it was only 2 days. Yeah.
You need me to go look for it. Well, I will.
Huh?
You need me to go look for some drops or something. I will. I'll call it Josh. I'll just do that. And eventually I'm going to ask you guys for your emails.
No. Apparently the response was, as soon as I get a schedule, I'll post it.
No, there's a picture in there. You just gotta look in the comments. It's the first one, but it's only for 2 days, or 1 day.
Yeah, because here's Donna's post.
Yeah.
It's got 2 comments on it. And okay, there is that
Yeah.
schedule paper. I
But it's
didn't
only
see
for
it.
the 19th.
Yeah. The 5th and the 19th.
Yeah.
Not much. I was trying to figure out what time we have a game tomorrow. Did they not have games this weekend?
Vote Nick.
Yep. Okay. I just wanted to figure it out because we were looking and everybody kept asking, and I was like, I don't know if we have a game. Okay. Yeah, and I haven't gone to the website to see if they had one yet, but that makes sense that they wouldn't. Yeah, the Grants Pass. Yeah, Grants Pass Softball Association. I'll go look, and if there's a game, I'll let you know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we do. They might have been done it correctly this year. No game this week. Start of the season next week or some shit. So I need you to get me, and I need you to find me a girl ball and a guy ball and set one aside for me, and I'm gonna swing by and grab it. All right, and I'll do that. All right, where's it at? Oh no. All right, so I'll come by tomorrow and grab a ball. All right, love you too, bro. Bye. No game tomorrow as far as Josh knows because of
Vote Nick.
the Memorial Day. So what time do you want a game? And I'll try to punch out some of the stuff on the OneNote. OneNote requires, in order for me to share it with you guys, I can share it with you if I have your email addresses. And then it'll appear on your computers in OneNote.
Oh.
So that's what I've been moving towards doing, is moving to OneNote as an option, because then it's
I
kind of
thought
like,
you were doing
I was doing it on Discord,
Discord.
but I can do it way easier in OneNote. It's what I've been doing at work for all my stuff there, so I can put it
If
all
there's
in.
no game, we can fucking get here at noon and play all day.
So if that's the plan, let's do that.
Yeah.
That'll let you get some antihistamine or something in you.
We'll
I mean, I'm hoping that the conversation is helpful on both ends of what's going on. Because I need to know what you guys need me to do too. Because if there's something I got and I'm fucking pressing on, I need to know so I can correct that shit too. I don't want it to be a one-way street where I come fucking call you guys up and be like, fucking Jake, you fucking douchebag. I hate you, Jake. I need the, well, you need to stop being a dick.
I tell you that, and you say, I'm not being a dick.
Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just not getting what you guys need me to do. I'm thinking like, I'm doing the, why the fuck do these guys get this shit? And you're doing the, why the fuck is he being an asshole about this shit? And we're just not on the same page. But I don't want to do like we did before where we would go a long time without anyone saying, what the fuck?
Where we would let problems fester for 6 months at a time, and then only come back to them after we've gone to a different game for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then start yelling at everybody in
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
And then yell at everybody. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want this game to be fun. I want you guys to be able to engage all the shit. So, like, I know that you have the issue with the age thing. I know you do. That's why I'm like,
Well, I've already thought of an idea what I'm gonna do.
I'm like, go do something.
I'm going to.
Yeah. If you need to know more about what's going on, I'll tell you, but it's why I lightened up on the, you can't sneak out and drink alcohol. Well, you can. You might get, you might get a demerit.
Well, see, that's one of the things. I mean, you tell us that go off, you guys can go do whatever you want, but every time we do something that is fun, we get, you come down on us anyway.
Well, you're little kids. I mean, do something that, I mean, when you follow through what you're gonna do, go, would I get punished if I was a teenage kid doing that?
Once you get caught.
But you'll always get caught. There's no way for you to
Just
get
like
away with
today
anything.
when I was doing 82 miles an hour on the freeway, and
85.
Jake's like, I'm gonna call the police. I'm like, you ain't got your phone.
Wow, none of that was actually said.
Nothing was thinking. You're like, Dick, you can't call nothing. But the point is
Jake's threatened to call
it
the cops
only-
on me today, man.
it only becomes relevant then if I want to make it relevant. If I have a point to make, it becomes relevant. Which is like, I've let you guys so far get away with fist fight. I'm going to change the story enough from when it was before to what it is now, so we can alleviate all this shit that people were like, I would love to be able to go do this. I need to go make out with my girlfriend. Okay, well, it wasn't beneficial to the game when I had, when I had Tim ass kicked over it.
But see, every time we've done something like that, you haven't let any of that really get away because you've had.
Yeah, I did.
Well, like the first time we had a pool party, you had what's her name show up. Very first time.
Which person?
Troll.
Birdwell.
Troll.
Oh yeah,
Birdwell
troll.
show up.
Yeah, because
And then
that's because the last pool party that would happen. You guys might not remember what was going on with Rachel, which is why that went down that
I
way.
wasn't here.
Yeah, okay. So Rachel went to a pool party where she had like a lesbian experience with Bunny in a fucking hot tub. And there was a bunch of people going on. Then went back and made a huge deal out of it. So, no, I was reacting to what players had done. With the, don't you be sticking your dick in no girl. Bad you. No alcohol because this fucking 10-year-old went off and did bad shit.
Really, really bad shit.
I wasn't here for
Yeah,
any of
so
that.
that's why I said some of this is one of these where maybe we just need to know, but we just need to say this is what happened.
You guys played for 2 weeks. I was here for 1 weekend, and then I was gone for another 2 weeks.
Well,
So there was 4 weeks of stuff that happened that I just
But that's what I'm saying is sometimes there's a reason why I'm having it happen.
Yeah, but see, you've never had to have a reason before. Because before you just a dick.
I told everybody I was going to be much
The
nicer.
problem is, you're reacting to stuff that Rachel did, and Rachel's not here anymore.
Yes, but the story
So
in
we're being punished for Rachel's bad behavior.
because it's still the same universe that you're playing in. it's only been
That doesn't make any
2 weeks ago. Yes, it does. 2 weeks ago, a student did all these things.
You know what? They don't know what she did. There was no video evidence.
It's almost like there's full sensor data where they can recreate it minute by minute.
What are you talking about? There's no fucking video cameras around in this fucking universe.
What? No, it's called we live in a nano cloud. Every one of us is a giant sensor suite.
Matt, we did not ask for your opinion.
I mean, but the problem is I'm reacting to stuff that happened in the universe you're in, the same place with the same people. I also let her get her ass kicked.
Oh, she deserved that.
Not enough.
Yeah. But I let her get her ass kicked. People let it happen.
Yeah, way to go, Jake. Way to just let it happen.
You want me to let shit happen? Oh, I'll let shit happen.
But what I'm getting at is that I haven't done anything. When we restarted this, the kitty gloves came out, and I was like, I'm not gonna do anything that's mean. And then I'm like, stop being.
And that's why Matt is so bitter, because he had it so rough when he was our age.
I had to go
I
uphill
had
the
to
school
go
both ways.
uphill both ways in the snow, and then when I got to school, they tased me for no reason, just because my name was Tim. That's how bad I had it.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah,
have just
that's
moved.
actually pretty legit.
You could have just moved.
Now they did it pretty much across the
No,
board.
there was a time when he got beaten for like 4 or 5 hours because he dared to blink at a guard.
Uh-huh.
You know, that was just him being a dick. You take it out on everybody fucking else because you can't take it out on fucking God over here.
That was only like a year ago in the game.
Yeah.
That was last year for Tim. And then you guys get Sweet Deal Magnum, comes in, fixes everything, gives you all this new shit, tears down all the walls.
And we're all waiting for the second shoe to drop. We're all like, hey, wait, we've been here before. When's the other shit gonna happen?
And I'm like, so the GM's like, stop worrying about it. Just fucking, I'll figure out. I mean, as long as I can see that the game is moving forward, Bob, I don't want to punish you, and I'm not. As long as I can see what you're aiming for. I just have to have an idea what you're doing and why. Even if you explain it to me out again, I just need to know. And sometimes it has to be like this. Hey, dickhead, this is why I'm doing this. Stop being an asshole with your NPC. If that's what has to happen, then I can ratchet the NPCs. But once you have the NPCs you want, I don't foresee that happening.
Can I have Lydia? She'd make a really good
I gave you Susie Sherman.
NPC for me.
You have Susie Sherman.
Yeah, the person you absolutely fucking hate.
Yeah.
The person that we're gonna have.
That's because I hate Susie Sherman. She's the same thing.
It was funny. Bob was like, oh great, I got Susie Sherman. Now Bass is gonna fucking hate me forever because I've got Susie Sherman on my team. Now it's gonna be always, I'm not gonna talk to you since you have that on your team.
Right? Is that what's coming?
Why would I talk to you anyway?
Exactly.
You don't want my advice.
Your advice is always solid. 9 times out of 10. Well,
Now,
except
what
for
the hell was
one.
with you guys not engaging the goddamn Captain America group?
Why should we?
I gave you an opportunity to sign up with Captain America.
I didn't because it wasn't gonna be with my character.
Why didn't you take it?
I don't know.
And you,
Why-
you were like, I ain't gonna go see Captain. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
I gave you an opportunity to sign up with a pro-American Captain America.
I don't
The
know.
guy who stands against the upcoming known fact for my player is going to be the main guy in the Civil War. To tell him all to go, suck it.
But he's not part of the right organization.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
That's where we're at.
Dimmer.
We can't go join in some
Yes,
other
you
group.
can.
How How?
You could be an X-Men if you wanted to. The game is not set to where you have to stay with right. You can join whatever group you want.
But
The
doesn't
game
that take
goes
me
where
out
you
of,
go.
Doesn't that take me out of the game?
No.
How
The
do
game goes
how do
where
I
you
stay
go.
on? How do I stay on a B team and be?
You won't. You'll leave right and become whatever that is. But Captain America was not offering you an opportunity to sign up and go off and fight fucking supervillains with Captain America. He was signing you up to be a superhero on the side of Captain America.
Oh,
Hey!
I didn't get that.
But you didn't even investigate it.
I was busy investigating other stuff. There was black people shooting up school buses.
So
you gotta
part
give
of
me
my-
cut me a little slack.
Part of my
okay?
problem was I introduced you to what you asked me for, and then you were like, no, I'm not gonna go, fuck Captain America, I'm not gonna go talk to that guy. I don't need to go talk to Stars and Stripes, Captain America, or any of those fucking people. No, not doing it. I'm like,
Okay,
what the fuck is going on right now?
You need to jump out of
Yeah,
game.
you,
At that
because
time when shit
I
like
was
that
so
happens.
focused on our kids getting shot up that I didn't even think
That
about
was the distraction for the story. That was literally the distraction.
I'm sorry.
Because no one was hurt. They shot him.
Okay, I get it.
They shot
Val!
an armored bus.
Val! Val!
Let's go back in time, buddy.
And here's the other thing. In this universe, no one is as paranoid as they were in the B&W universe. We talk to
Except for
each
us.
other. Yeah, except for you guys.
And me and Matt were talking about is that everyone has this power that came from that universe.
That
You guys
universe
are
was
tainted from that
bad.
universe.
We are.
It was like
A little
playing a
bit.
game of paranoia.
Yeah, but dude, can you fuck that game up? Yeah, it was, I'm sorry if we're a little gun shy because of that experience, Jar.
That's why I keep stressing it. You guys are like, where are all the cameras? I fucking got rid of all the cameras because it made no fucking sense that everything would be recorded. How many times do you want me to put my finger in your ass because there's a camera somewhere? I mean, seriously.
Can we not?
I kind of like it.
But that's kind of why there are no cameras. I'm like, there's no cameras because I'm trying to fucking give there no reason for you guys to be caught on camera.
Even though I got caught on camera.
That's why here's some minutia stuff that me and Matt were talking about that I don't think you guys were really caught in some of the conversations. Did you know that every time you look at somebody else inside the suit, that you actually see them inside? You don't see the suit, you see them.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
We know that.
Okay. All right. Is that one of those things that we didn't mention?
No.
Oh, I thought of another real good example of the heads up stuff was Ready Player One.
Yeah.
When he's actually in virtual,
Mm-hmm.
all the VR stuff that he does in there would also be a good fit.
Yeah, I don't know if Bob got a chance to look at that stuff I sent you. But I sent a bunch of augmented reality, and that's even weak compared to what you guys got.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at almost anything you want and zoom in on stuff. Your ability to do stuff tactically is like unbelievable. You put the fucking drone over the top, and you can pull down any building, you call it schematics.
Anybody that's played a decent shooter on
And you want
on
me to
any
join
console,
Captain America and lose all that shit?
You
Crazy.
keep all that shit.
Yeah.
You're still a member of rights organization.
You're a part-time member who associates with them.
remember Bass was a member of it
Yeah,
up
yeah.
until not too long ago.
Until he got kicked out.
Yeah,
Till
kicked
till
out
like 2
because-
weeks ago.
Yeah, he got kicked out a long time ago. Well, he was a member of the Avengers up until a short time ago.
Yeah, he was Avenger until like 2 days ago.
But-
when he found out his ID didn't work anymore.
But he was a member of that same group, and that's all about being all pro-America. It all depends on whether or not you're following Cap's idea of pro-America. It's all about supporting the American ideals. That's what the young Americans are. And then you belong to a whole other superhero group.
Gives you more people to access for information and
Uh-huh.
help.
Then you can drive up and bang on the side of the Cap's van and climb in.
He might let you
And I
pick
can
the
go,
shield up.
Please, I met you once. Can you just let me go this life?
Yeah.
He needed to die.
And later on, when you become a supervillain and you run across Cap and he's about to wank you with a shield, you be like, Cap! Remember me when I was a young American? Everything just went wrong.
He needed to die.
Forgive me!
He done Red
I'm
Skull
also
shit.
here we go. I'm also going to introduce you to Iron Man, and I'm going to introduce you to the guys recruiting you guys into the prison network. and I'm going to give you an opportunity to join the FBI and the CIA, Amanda Waller, all those people.
Oh, me's a spook, that'd be scary.
Because the game was never intended. Here's the thing I have to say to everybody, because I think I need everybody. The game was never created for you to stay always with right. It was always intended for you to build whatever way you wanted to go. That way, and this is the original one, to go wherever you wanted to. Because right's entire thing in this universe is just to keep you safe. As long as you're still with right, and those ideals with right, he doesn't care if you have that technology. Carry it wherever you go. It only matters whether or not you're still with him. If you go join the fucking Secret Service, as long as you ultimately are still with right, when he calls you and says, I need you, you go, I'm there, boss. He didn't care where you go. Go in whatever team you want. Join the X-Men. I don't care. Go trash all the X-Men. That's kind of the point of his training thing. I train superheroes. I train the best corporate superheroes you could possibly find. You will not find better people than here. That's what the whole process of you going from a C team all the way to an A team is that A teams go on to be superheroes. B teams go on to do everything else.
I will never see the inside of an A-team house.
You probably never will. I mean, the honest truth is you probably never will. If your goal is to be a vigilante, you're never going to be on an A team. You're going to be a B team. He might, if his goal is to be a hero, he's going to be on an A team, and then you're going to be a team leader of a B team. When you should be on an A team, but you're going to be the guy that counsels the entire group. And then when you move past that, you'll have the opportunity to go off to college, or to go to a corporate team, or to go off to work for
the corporate team is more like doing what I was thinking about doing.
The corporate teams are all that are, and there are multiple.
Oh, they're more of a wet works team, aren't they?
Well, they're not wet works. They enforce rights, corporations' philosophies, but there are wet works teams in that grouping.
You don't have your murderers on payroll directly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But there are people who, like, for example, Scar and those guys are not on a team, they're not on a corporate team, but yes, their loyalty is to right, and yes, he pays them and takes care of them. That would be the same way, like when you talk about Candy, that's where Candy would have went, is into that same kind of dark secret place where they just pay people some money, and they're sitting over there doing stuff that they don't want to be out in the open.
Yeah, I was wondering if he's stuck with Candy going with Magnum.
Yeah, well, Magnum's in charge of the school program. That's what he does. So you're probably closer to being just directly under the people who serve right than under Magnum, because then you're often actually doing shit. And then you go to in what country and in what capacity. I mean, there's a lot more to the whole overall arcing story. That's why this whole idea, what I've been amping up for you guys is mutant registration, Civil War. Those are the big stories that I'm trying to get you guys to, and what I focus the game on right now. Which is eventually, I gotta go beat a dog.
Beat him!
Beat him!
And we,
No!
And we were too dumb to
Yeah,
not
yeah.
stay out of the rain.
Move your feet. They're sopping wet. I ain't let them in.
No, they need to go lay under the trailer. There's lots of dry, warm places for them to be. They could be in the laundry room.
Mm-hmm. So that's the ones I've been pushing, is for you guys to figure out what you want to do in that one. And I set everything out to about 5 years. So it's all laid out on a timeline that eventually leads to the Civil War.
And by Civil War, you mean Kandarian invasion.
I mean Civil War. Kandarian shit happens after that. Then I have storylines that run all after that, where the Kandarians try to eliminate all of Earth's superheroes, and then they get all the extra shit that goes on that you guys become badasses. But the lead up is supposed to be minor shit leading up to what is the mutant registration and Civil War.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get you guys involved with going to all these different groups, finding out what organizations you guys want to be in, setting you in those organizations, and then running these more broader stories. And then in those stories, I can run minor stories for you once I figure out which NPCs you're with. You know, like at the school, my plan is to do good guy, bad guy. rivalry football games and shit that happens at football games where, because you have 6 other schools that not necessarily like the school you're at, except they're superheroes or supers in general. So why can't they come fucking steal your guys' mascot, but in a superhero way? Why can't you guys know that they're gonna come fucking steal your mascot in a superhero way? Why can't you plan to go fucking steal their mascot?
You can't know that because you should be stealing their mascot.
I mean, some of that is like, haha, that's not fun to do as a superhero, but it certainly is fun just to go fucking do it. Why can't you run that story in the middle of me fucking you over with you trying to find out who the head honcho is in St. Louis?
Because I don't want to have to deal with major pain afterwards.
And Magnum encourages school rivalry. You can go all the way to whatever high and piss in their soda, nothing would happen. Unless you're with the young Americans, which means that if you go over there and piss in their fucking Kool-Aid or their Gatorade that they're going to use at their football game, and then they find out, and then they send a letter to Captain America, he's going to be mad and call you all the way to the Young American headquarters and ask you how American it was for you to pee.
I didn't
in
even
somebody's
fucking
Gatorade.
do that.
Just like this guy who Juice fucking sent copied ass pictures and sent them everywhere. He's getting tossed out of the Young Americans.
He sent like
Fucking Chris,
14,000 copies.
14,000 copies
Fucking Chris.
to Captain America. And then faxed it to the Young Americans.
Dude, he was being such a prick, I don't understand why you fucking let that shit happen. Because of how prickish he was being.
Oh, because Matt was getting back at him in that. He was in it pretty good. But they were having a good war in that whole thing. That's why it led to Matt kicking the crap out of him, or Tim kicking the crap out of him, and then him mind throwing him.
And then
Every time.
And then Chris's argument, I've never mind trailed anybody.
Everybody. I don't know a single character he didn't mind trail.
In every fight he ever had with any kind of a PC, always ended up mind trailing
Mm-hmm.
at the very end before he lost.
Uh-huh.
Because he would try everything else, and then right before he lost, he'd mind trail.
Mm-hmm. I mind trail you. And he was way more broken than fucking Marvel.
Oh yeah. And then he tried to,
Yeah, I would have shoved his head up his ass, so he tried that shit in fucking Mutants Masterminds.
well, in Mutants and Masterminds, he tried to fuck us over in the initial crossover.
Yeah.
Because that was his ploy for more power. Because he could be more powerful in second edition.
I've been pretty honest about it. When we transferred to Mutants and Masterminds, the second edition, that was all Chris.
Oh yeah.
Who said that we could, that he knew how to do it, and it would be super simple.
And,
boom.
like Matt said, it was all a power play by him.
And I was convinced that, having read what I read, that it would be a good transfer for us. Because people were talking about power creep and getting me out of the game. Which is what I wanted. I wanted to stop saying no. Which is why I like Mutants and Masterminds. Got the points? Pay for it on your fucking character sheet. I don't fucking care.
Except every time I say I want a robot horse.
Or anytime you say you want this, he says no. Or anytime you say, well, I think it should be right here, he's like, no, it's too high.
Well, his job is to say no. So, there
But
gotta
no,
be
but
some of
he
that.
just contradicted himself. He said he wants to play something where he doesn't tell us no, but yet he still tells us no all the time.
No, I tell you that's too high. Not no, that's just too high.
I.e., no.
No.
No, you can just have it at 4.
Huh?
But 4 won't let me fight a toddler. Well, that's as high as you're getting.
As high as you need.
A house cat does more damage.
It took Nick Fury's eye.
That wasn't a fucking house cat!
Might as well have been the way all the cat ladies talk about it.
I haven't seen the movie, but holy shit, have I seen a lot. I need to.
You need to go see John Wick 3.
It's really
I haven't
good.
seen John Wick 2.
you need to see John Wick 2, and then you need to see John Wick 3.
They did really good.
Because that
It was
motherfucker was
awesome.
badass.
It was non-stop action, damn near from the get-go, and it
I like
really good
I've
job.
liked all those movies. I've watched part 2.
It was really good.
Me and Crystal were gonna rent it on Amazon. I'm just
I've got it. I'll put it on the thumb drive for you.
Okay. I've
I've
seen-
got one or two. I'll throw them on a thumb drive. And then you can just plug it in your computer and watch it.
Cool.
So I'll get 3 when it comes out.
Yeah, it was good.
No, a lot of people hated Endgame because of what they did with Thor. Dude, I was laughing my fucking ass off
On 4.
the
Fat
entire.
Thor was awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, I was laughing my ass off the entire time.
I didn't like it.
I find it disrespectful to the only character that could have taken Thanos by himself.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty funny.
I'm not saying that the jokes weren't funny, but they were kind of meaningless, and they destroyed all the build-up for that character.
Yeah, but it happened for a reason.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Because he failed.
Except
failed?
he didn't.
Thor. Yeah, he did. In his eyes, he did.
Yeah, he made a mistake, and he could have corrected it.
Yeah.
But instead, he decided to fall into depression. That's not what the Lord of the Asgardians should have done.
Yeah, I was not happy with what they did. I was not happy with what they did to the Incredible Hulk or Thor.
I didn't care for what they did with the Hulk.
I mean, the Thor thing was funny, but ultimately, it was a way to remove him out of the hidden fight.
But he wasn't. He was one of the main people in the fight.
Not really. Not from the same Thor that you had in the other one.
Because Thor with the Odin Force should have decimated that army.
Another example. Why didn't Thor just fly through the ship that was hovering above and drop it out of the air like they had Miss Marvel do?
Because that was Miss Marvel's 3rd scene, and she had to have at least 4 scenes.
Captain Marvel, how dare you, you filthy dangler.
But why didn't they do something?
Because she was contracted, she had to be in there for 4 scenes. That was her 3rd scene.
But so they purposely removed the other 2 characters because it would have been more badass to have the Incredible Hulk and Thor kicking the shit out of him with Captain America.
Mjolnir Cap.
Uh-huh.
Now, don't get me started on the paradox potential of removing Mjolnir from the timeline from a time when he needed it.
But he took it back to the exact moment that he took it, because he took it with him when he returned the stones.
With who returned stones?
When Captain America returned all the stones at the end of the movie.
Except that it's already a paradoxical timeline because the way they explained it in the beginning and then the things that they did later on.
Can't you just enjoy something? For
No,
being
that's
good
the movie ain't
entertainment?
good. I enjoyed the fuck out of
You
the
don't.
movie.
You don't always have to pick things apart because you don't agree with them.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
You
I
can
do.
just go in there and enjoy it
Yes, I
because
do.
That's how he
because it's a
enjoys
good
it.
movie.
That's how I enjoy it.
It's like, I don't-
Picking it apart.
another one that I have is why Iron Man.
Because his contract was up.
No, it's actually because they want to replace him. They want to bring in the new Young Avengers, and so you're going to see Muslim Miss Marvel, and you're going to see Riri Williams Iron Man, and you're going to...
You don't think they're going to bring the kid, the boy,
No.
that was in Iron Man 2 or whatever, whichever one that was, 3?
No.
No. Why was he at the end credits scene?
Because
in the
they
end scene then?
They filmed that scene way before the rest of the movie, because they filmed that back before they made the previous one.
My problem is why him?
Because
Kia had just come, was it Kia or was it Subaru?
Audi.
They just came out with the card we went and looked at.
oh yeah,
It was Kia.
Kia.
Was it?
Oh, is it
Kia
Kia?
just came out with a Captain America car.
Iron Man.
Iron Man truck. It's badass. He needed to die so the Koreans could sell cars.
Yeah, pretty much. It's got a signature on the hood, or on the dash.
But the story, why him?
Because didn't he do that in the comics?
In the comics, he was one of the he
No.
was one of the
Because
holders
he's
of-
actually had the gauntlet in this, or not the gauntlet, but he's had the gems in his armor before. Hey, yes.
Yes, he has. I looked it up and they say he did in the original comics.
He had what?
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Iron Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just watched the whole video on him, on the Infinity Gauntlet. Didn't mention anything about Iron Man. I ain't saying I just believe you, I'm just saying that maybe that fucking thing
No,
was wrong.
I watched the same one you did, but I also watched something on Iron Man, and they said Iron Man actually held the Infinity Gauntlet as well.
Oh, I know he's had it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is he's had it.
What I disagree with is that he's ever actually used it. So it should have killed him.
It did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, in that story, but I'm saying the actual canon, I don't think he ever actually had it. But there's been a lot of people that are supposed to have had it at one point. But there hasn't been a lot of characters who actually used it. But I'm still with the why Tony.
I don't know, man, you're asking the wrong person. I just watch the movies. I don't tear them apart.
It's not tearing them apart.
Yeah, I cried like 3 times. Lockjaw had the Infinity Gauntlet. Captain America had it.
That was back when Lockjaw was actually a
Doctor Doom.
not a dog.
Yeah, in the Infinity War.
Nebula. Mr. Fantastic. Despite his avenging and heroic status, Tony Stark is not exactly the first man on the grant godlike status wish list. This is why Iron Man wielding the Infinity Gauntlet in Avengers number 12 is such a tense moment for both heroes and villains present. He's on the list.
For what? Yeah, I know that he's on the list of characters who had it. And he's on the list because he had it in the movie. I'm looking for where did he have it at any other point?
Avengers number 12.
Yeah, the movie.
Comic book.
No, Avengers comic book number 12.
Comic.
In the comic book, number
Yes.
12?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at, not the movie stuff.
What did he do with it?
Didn't say.
'Cause that's really the point of my argument.
It said it takes Iron Man's eventual use of the gauntlet to save the day, and to his credit, does give the thing right, and does the right thing, gives up power supreme. Dark side. Santa Claus had it? Nice.
That's kind of what my argument is based on, is they kind of give it some ridiculous ideas of who's had it and what they've done with it. So saying that Tony Stark
Man,
had it before.
you will not disrespect the Thanos copter.
There
There's what we're looking for.
And that looks like an awful lot like the time he was wearing the Asgardian armor.
Uh-huh. And a number of notable weapons inherently designed. There's one you might imagine, but the most notable example, of course, Thor's hammer, always fascinating to see. Another example through the Infinity Gauntlet is interesting to see how different heroes would fare. Ultimate powerless look to see what Iron Man did when he first given the chance to wield all the Infinity Stones.
Keep scrolling. There's more.
And all stated the 2000 New Avengers Illuminati by Andres.
Oh,
Superheroes.
there's your problem. Brian Michael Bendis. He ruins everything he touches. Including Superman right now.
Okay, using the ultimate power to make himself stronger than She-Hulk. Once he did the power gem, he decided that he should try to put the Infinity Gauntlet together to destroy it. Okay, there's Mr. Fantastic.
Rolk.
See that?
That's true. Oh, now every once in a while you'll get to Depot and they'll have some Seneca, and that'll be okay.
It's cute that you think Seneca's okay.
For framing, it's okay. Sometimes.
If you like using garbage, I've hauled Seneca.
If you're building a shed, it's okay.
Okay, we'll give you that one. If it's got to stand like this.
Yeah.
Alright. Seneca. They've all gone downhill. Weyerhaeuser, Seneca. South Coast is pretty consistent. But
Yeah. Oh, it's because they're all harvesting such young trees.
well, and they have their own wood too. When they had that fire last year, they lost a lot of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Go pee, Bob. Get out of here.
Seneca, back in the 90s, when I was picking it up from Shamrock in Eugene, was pretty decent.
Yeah. Everything in the 90s was decent because the wood was better. They hadn't had four seasons of fire, you know. And,
Well, it also wasn't coming out of Canada.
yeah.
And Canadian wood is shit.
Yep. It's funny because you'd think there would be a lot more old growth coming out of Canada because there's so much that's just untouched.
Yeah, they're
But-
basically sending us down pulpwood.
Yeah. Yep. I get to deal with all that shit.
Oh yeah, when they divided up the stones.
So Tony Stark has had it.
Yeah.
While a member of the Illuminati.
While a member of the Illuminati in the more recent version of comics.
Yeah.
In the same comic series where he turns into the villain who kills everybody.
Oh, including the Hulk.
Uh-huh.
Because this is when he makes the decision to send the Hulk off.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Are you hoping he sparkles?
There's seen so
I
much
knew,
shit
I
like
knew you
that.
were gonna say that.
Now, what I think would be cool is that they get Michael Keaton to come back as Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
and then do Batman Beyond.
Yep. Yeah, that theory's been floating around too.
Yeah.
Because Michael Keaton looks just like him from that series right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, because they had the side by side up on the internet, and I was like, wow, they need to do that. They'll never do that though.
No, that would be good.
Yeah, exactly.
And DC can't make a good movie.
Yeah, well, I
They
mean,
can't even make an entertaining movie.
What's
Except
their
Wonder
next
Woman.
movie?
yeah,
Batman.
Batman.
With Sparkly Vampire
yeah,
Boy.
Robert Pattinson. But I heard they already lost their director.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see that? Yeah.
Nobody wants to work with him.
Yeah.
It's like a death sentence.
Yep.
You couldn't get J.J. Abrams to make a movie for them right now.
Bye guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see ya.